because
okay.
right here
Yeah. You got
is
shot?
well, it's a funny story. I've always enjoyed having, like, even as a kid, having a BB gun, Nerf guns. Oh my God. Even when I was in like college, we used to have Nerf awards in college down the dorm rooms. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, when I went to the military, it was all different. But again, I've always wanted that. I was never in, like, like the kids with the spinner things or whatever that went, that went
Fidget
viral
spinners?
or whatever. No, I wasn't. I was never one of those.
Yeah.
But when it came to like guns, I've always wanted some. So I've always had like the BB gun, the Nerf gun, the water guns, the big soaker gun. Okay. Well, I went out and bought me one of those an M4 gel blaster. The gel balls?
Nice.
You get a little bag about this big of balls and you put them in water and it ends up like 4,000. It's ridiculous. Seriously. And they're water balls, gel balls, gel blasters. And you and don't get me wrong, when it hits you, from a good, 10, 15, 10 feet, 5 feet in, 10 feet in, it's a little pop like a rubber band,
Gotcha.
So, so I had one of those and, I had to get rid of it because, my wife walked by one day and pow, popped right on the ass. She said, well, I get to shoot you back. I said, all right. I walked down on the porch. So I get, all right, where are you going to shoot me? She said, I'm going to shoot you in the back. Shot me right in the fucking head. Right in the head. Right in the head. So then I turned around and was walking back and she would shoot me again. And I went like that. And it hit right there. There's I never changed it just because it reminds me every day. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, there's two gel shots, one there and one there. Now, if it had been a BB, it would have been no.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, yeah. So that's why so that looks a lot better.
Yeah, I love it, man. It looks great.
Okay.
Welcome,
all right, let's roll. Well, good.
Yeah,
nice to meet you today, though.
So let me shout out sponsors real quick, and then we'll go into introducing you and getting to know you a little bit and your background and how you're really recent into airsoft. So thank you to the sponsors of this podcast, Skirmish. Go to skirmish.net. That's skirmish.net, not skirmish. And they are the only data tracking or stat tracking system out there. You all have heard me talk about this for a while now. You got the RFID bracelet. They got the boxes. If your field has it, then you take over objectives. You scan in all the things on the field that matter, that count. You get to track your stats with Skirmish. So check out skirmish.net. If your field doesn't have it, go ask your field owner, and they will, to see if they can get it in their field or their event. And then the other sponsor is Jackal Tactical. Paul up there in PA owns 2 stores, a field, and owns Otherworld Milsim, who does events, who holds events. One of them being in September is going to be down here in South Carolina that I'm going to, and it's going to be fun. So it's actually in Barnwell, South Carolina, which is not too far from you. It's only like 2.5 hours from me.
It's going to be.
So go to jacktech.com and check it out. Wow. So, and then my guest today is a guy that I just met really recently. I just heard about online, actually, from Houdini. Shout out Houdini. And he's been building high cabins forever. He got on with this guy that I'm about to have on here and building him some high capas who he's already used on the field. So welcome to my guest, OGKG. And first off, give us a introduction here. And how did you come up with this Instagram name of OGKG?
Well, OG comes from the fact that I'm 52 years old. And also I grew up in the South, and as a young kid growing up in the South, you always saw people and the older guys and they would call him OG. Like that's, he's an OG, nothing gangster, nothing about that. Cause I was in this deep, deep South. So we didn't know anything about all that city stuff, but it was, and then now I'm 52 years old. I started social media, Instagram, probably, I don't even know. It's not even 6 months or 7 months
ago.
I don't know. Maybe 4 months ago.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, probably 4. Time flies. Like I said, my timeline. So if I say something, I don't know. Every day, it runs together for me. But I started about 4.5 months ago, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try to do some YouTube. So I started doing a little bit of YouTube in the fitness industry, and well, everybody and their mother is doing fitness videos, and I'm not really. I found out that it wasn't a competition or whatever. It was basically, I'm more or less. I like to stick to myself, put the headphones on, grind it out.
Yeah.
I realize that I'm not a influencer or whatever you want to call that crap is,
Yeah.
Which is cool. There's a lot of good ones out there, but there's like, a lot of bad ones out there.
Sure.
And I didn't really get started. I just kind of dabbed in it. And then, all of a sudden I went and, I was scrolling through Instagram, which I still don't even know how to work. Okay. So I don't do Facebook. Don't even know anything about that stuff. Don't even know how Instagram really works. I don't even know how you're doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, I tried to throw some videos together. I was scrolling through and I saw a live chat video came through, a guy I was following. I didn't know I was following. And I didn't know anything about Instagram. So somehow, some way, I had got in touch with Airsoft Dad. Now that's air_soft_dad. Mike in Chicago.
Shout out Mike, yes.
Because from what I heard, there's 2 Airsoft Dads, but there just happens to be a underscore in between, and a little bit of distance because they're both from that area, right?
Yep.
So
shout out Mike and shout out Scott, who I've had on the podcast.
Scott too. So I learned that. I actually learned that today. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
So if Scott gets one that I mean for Mike, Scott, you send it to Mike. So long story short, I went in, I saw he had a live. Actually, as we're talking right now, he just went live. Yeah. So if I wasn't on with you, I'd be on him because he just got to play. He was at Red Dawn this weekend. Red Dawn was this weekend. And unfortunately, I live in South Carolina, so that's a long way away. You live in South Carolina, so that's
yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm actually taking that drive in May. Okay, I'm going to actually meet up with Houdini and go and do that. But I was scrolling through and I just started join the chat.
Yeah. And
there was probably 12, 13, 14 people, and just started listening. I just listened. I saw him, Mike, right there in his garage. Blah blah blah, which was cool. It wasn't some elaborate setup and all this other stuff, which would have been fine also. But for me, it seemed like something I would be interested in. A little bit rough around the edges.
Sure.
Just winging
raw.
it.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of guys that worked all day or did some or played all day and got to have play, and now get to talk about what they're doing and get away from the bills and get away from the, just everything, And so I started watching, and I didn't say anything the first night. And I think the second night, about 2 days later, he comes on. You never know when he's popping on.
Right.
It might be like he just popped on now, and then he might go a couple of days. I mean, he's a busy man. He's got a child. He's got kids. He's got a daughter. I know he's got a daughter. That's about all I know of. And he's married. Great guy. I know he works for the. Listening to him, he works for the railroad.
Yep.
So I started watching his podcast, or not his podcast. Started watching his live feeds, and then one day I just popped in and said, "Hey guys, what's up?" And he saw it, and I guess me being new. Because I'm sure that it was the same group. Because now me being in it now, I see a lot of the same guys. We all pop in and we talk to each other. So then all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, and now we got some new guy, OGKG. Yeah, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you." Blah blah boom. And then all of a sudden it started, and then I started just listening. I don't know anything about airsoft. Listening, and learning about what they were talking about rifles, talking about high kappas. What was a high kappa? You know what I mean? What was a, electric gun? I mean, you know what I mean? Running off HPA.
Right.
Like I knew what all that stuff was, but I'm thinking like, okay, we're doing that and we're actually shooting each other. We're going, okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I chimed in and I said, what I want to do. Well, first of all, I took the thought and I said to myself, okay, I carried around an M4 for so long. I don't want to take a rifle. And Airsoft Dad's a rifle guy. Okay.
Yep.
And that, and I was like, and luckily that night that I chimed in on that call, he had a 4-screen setup. Uh-huh. And one of the guys right at the end, as soon as I came in, I said, "Hey guys, I've decided, I think I said something like, I decided I'm going to go with high caps. I want a high cap." and I want the best. I said, I've never played airsoft in my life. I said, I'll probably get my butt whooped by the youngest kids and the oldest guys in the world, until I get the hang of it. Okay. And I still might get my butt whooped, but I know I'm going to have fun. So I said, I said, I want to, when I step on the field, on the battlefield, I want to have the best of the best. I don't want to start off with a rental. Now, that's fine. You do.
Sure.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm 52 years old, retired. I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you I'm a rich guy, but fortunately, I have a little, I have some fun and get to dip in,
Yeah.
I can buy a half cap and I can buy several because right now I've got 2 present, this is Houdini's. This is the gold match. Okay. We actually took off. This is a 5-1. Everything's only thing that's original on here is actually the handle and the frame. And then the handle's been stickled by Donnie up near where he lives in Indiana. If I knew his website or his Instagram, I would give it to you, but his name's Donnie. Ask Houdini. Okay. Anybody wants to talk about stippling? And he did, it's unbelievable what he's done to it. Yeah. Well, you got to understand, when I bought this, he told me, I went online and we were talking like you and I are talking. And I said, what should I get? He goes, well, you want to build from the ground up or you want to start from a base model? And I was like, I don't know. And then he goes, well, it's going to be a little bit cheaper, blah, 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 if you go with a base model. And I didn't know anything. Okay. Right. So I decided to go with I went and bought out I bought this gun. Yeah. I bought the high kappa, the best of the best, supposedly high kappa Tokyo Maru 5.1, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know any of that stuff and what it meant. Okay. But I knew I had to get one because that's what he told me to get. So
that's right.
When it came in, so it comes in the mail. The box was lighter than 5 shells that I put in my real gun.
Exactly.
And so, I'm like, holding it.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm like, is this thing what?
I'm like, what is this? Right. I'm like,
it's gonna break.
I can do it, And I'm like, what is this? I was like, if I drop this, it may break. I'm like, okay, so I'm like, all right, well, what's going to happen? All right. So honestly, this is what I did. I boxed it up, sent it off to him. I comes back. Now he doesn't let me see it. Okay. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the fact of what he's changed.
Yeah.
From the frame to it's not the same gun.
Now, did you,
you know what I mean?
Were you able to shoot it at all before you sent it off to him?
No. Okay. No. Yeah. Well, I did. I took a video. I did. Yes, that's what I did. I did load one. I loaded the mag up with some just air.
Yeah.
Or some gas, and I just went out, pop,
so
pop,
you
pop,
can see the
how
difference, because when he
builds
it's amazing.
Now it's just.
It's smooth.
It is just.
Yeah, trigger pull is a lot less.
He's got he's an awesome trigger, and it's short stroke like crazy.
Kit in there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the cow, he's got everything. We got the inner barrel, and then we got a brand new inner barrel, outer barrel, new frame, everything. And I'm calling somebody out right now. If they're out there and they listen to this podcast, and if they don't, they're gonna find out about it. Warwolves, okay? Warwolves out there on Instagram. I want that piece right there that you owe me. Okay, you see that mag release?
Yeah.
Yeah, Warwolves told me in a chat one day that he was going to send me one because I couldn't get one. I couldn't find one to match up. Well, I couldn't match up my goal, right? And I didn't want to send one piece to get it Cerakote, okay? And through talk and through chat, Warwolves threw out, said, hey, I got one, I'll give it to you. Well, that was about 4 weeks ago.
Well, let's go, Warwolves.
Come on, Wolves. I
follow his channel.
I know he works a lot. And I know he was sick for a little while. But he's got enough time to sit there on that phone and be in chats where he can get his butt in the car and drive down to the post office. He's not like Big Bear or whatever, and got driving an hour away.
Yeah. And snowed in probably.
They played.
Let's get some background on yourself, and then how did you end up where you're at now? Because people want to know, myself included, that actually I know a little bit more because you and I jumped on a 3-way call with Houdini a few nights ago. I guess it was like Friday night, wasn't it? And then we talked a little bit because we had scheduled this podcast I don't know, last week or the week before, something
Yeah,
like that.
I think it's
And
a week before or a week. Yeah,
yeah, and I want to bring this up. The reason I bring this up is because a lot of people that I invite on here feel like, oh, I don't know enough about airsoft to go on an airsoft podcast. Okay,
no,
so and I want to kind of dispel that a little bit because this is more, these podcasts are more about they're probably like 10% about airsoft and the rest is about the person. Okay, so my goal on here is to promote whoever, the guest
sure.
and their journey, find out about their background, their life, how did they get to where they're at now, and how do they get
Okay,
to into airsoft, so that other people out there can hear these stories and connect with
okay,
them and find some similarities and say, man, I really like this dude. Sometimes, and you and I know, we're old enough to know, sometimes in life, you might like a certain person. Like, okay, I listen to all their stats, like all their bullet points of their life. I like all that. I like their character, but you know what? Their voice kind of annoys me. Okay. It's a personality thing.
right.
You're never gonna connect with everybody. That's just how we are,
No,
man. It's, I've
people are
listened to
going to come and go.
podcasts,
You know,
and I'm going, I love these guys, but I can't stand this one dude's voice. Okay. So I can't listen to it. It's, so that's how, and so I put this stuff out there to say, hey, look, we're all different. We all have different, we're all in different place in our life at
oh,
certain times
absolutely,
as well. So,
absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
So these stories and your background, your story, your background might touch somebody, uh, 6 months from now. You never know. Okay. That might be
Mhm.
contemplating something maybe serious in their life. Maybe they're just out of the military. Maybe they followed a similar path that you followed and they've been in some bad shit. There's some shit that they've wished they could unsee, but you can't.
Right,
Okay.
right,
And
right,
maybe they're going to connect with you in some of that way.
right.
Maybe they're going to,
Well,
whatever it is. And so, this is what, I really
well,
do on here
I guess, I
is
guess
help
I could
that.
tell
So
you.
how did you start out?
I guess I can tell you what, because you and I haven't talked, so there's a lot about. Or I'm getting ready to say. There's some things I want to talk about, and there's some things I'm not going to talk about. And that's cool. I
Yep,
mean,
absolutely.
and I'm glad you're good with that. Even your viewers would know. There's things about them that they don't want their friends to know, or there's
That's
things
right.
in their life. So,
Sure.
so yeah. So with what I can say about me, I'll tell you what. I'll start off my story and what I want people to know about me. One, I'm not perfect at all. Okay, I have. When I was a child, I had a pretty rough childhood. Um, grew up. I'd say, I'm not sitting here with a pity party, but you asked me to tell you, so I'm telling you. All right. So I normally don't talk about these things, and I probably haven't talked about this in 15, 20 years. So basically, this is it. When I was growing up, I grew up very dirt poor, backwoods, everything hand me down, trailer park. One trailer in the middle of nowhere. If somebody's coming to your house, you see the dust of cloud coming down that dirt road. They're either coming to your house or they're lost. You gave directions like you would say, okay, when you pass the three houses on the first dirt road, when you go past the first church, turn right. Because we don't have lights. We didn't have stop. We had two stop signs in my town. So getting out in the world was nothing to me. So I grew up really just kind of rebellious. When I say rebellious, I say not in the way of school, because school was okay. Sports, I excelled in that. Basically, I didn't know. Now that I look back, because we talked about it earlier about being older, my story now that I'm older, I can sit back and say I never knew my purpose as when I was younger. I never
Sure.
knew.
Most of us don't.
I never, I was adopted. I went through the whole issue of that. Like, why was I giving up? Why did somebody give up on me? I mean, as a boy, when you're young,
Yeah.
you think of those things. I mean, there's some 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid out there, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 17-year-old, wondering why in the hell did my mom and daddy or my daddy or my mom or whoever give me up? And why didn't somebody else take me of my family? Why didn't my uncle take me? Why didn't my brother take? Or well, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Sure. Why?
Whatever.
So
So
let
that
me ask you
that was
this: in that position, did you ever, as an older guy now, um, Did you ever find closure with that? Did you ever, were you the kind that wanted to go out and find your biological parents and figure
Well,
out
I'll tell
these
you this.
whys?
This is a story I have to tell you. And I absolutely no, I have not told this to anyone, and this just happened recently. My biological mother and I just contacted and just literally met each other about 3 months ago.
Whoa.
I drove to Ohio and I met my biological mother and also my sister.
What?
And this whole time, okay, all these years, didn't know, So, and to be there when I was there, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little whatever. But again, I've been through hell and back, and that ain't hell and back. I was getting actually for the first time getting to meet the woman who gave birth to me and be able to talk to her, and and she wanted to meet me.
Mm.
So, and then again, I don't want to go into all that, but by the time we met, everything was great, and now we're actually we talk all the time. She's older, so I keep her in my prayers because she just had heart surgery.
Mm.
She's 77, so I do think about that. So there is some kid out there, like I was telling you, if there's some kid out there that's thinking about why, what's my purpose, what I want to do in my life, give it time, bro. Give yourself some time. Take a deep breath, and realize that life's going to go by, and life is the way I look at it. Life days are long and life's short.
Yeah.
And there's going to be days that you don't think you could ever going to make it. And there's been days that I literally, I never thought I was going to make it where I was at. So but now let's get back to a little bit more positive. So I got adopted, and I got adopted by a very good man and woman. And he was military. He was hardcore, Southern Baptist, lived in the same, small town.
Yeah.
And took me in. I was 9 years old. Now, both of them, she worked for, she was a head nurse of a hospital. So I went from going home wondering what I was going to eat every day.
Yeah.
Sugar sandwich, mayonnaise sandwich, rice with soy sauce, whatever you could get, sugar, to having when you open up the pearly gates, it would be like all the airsofters going out there and going, go in this store and get whatever you want, shop till you drop.
Yeah.
That
That's
that's
scene
how
in the
it was for
Matrix
me.
where he's like, I need guns, and all these racks of
Yes.
guns come down, and you just pick whatever.
I walked into a house, not a trailer, 2-story wooden, beautiful home, big TV, satellite. Is it back in the days,
Oh, yeah.
in the 70s, 80s, early, anyway, big satellites in your yard. Get you out,
Yeah.
not the little disc,
No.
So, that kind of thing. Go to a refrigerator, open it up. Everything I could imagine. Go over and open up the cabinet, and every cereal, like 5 different cereal brands. I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? But then again, that was all nice and good, and I felt great. But again, along the journey, I still felt that, why am I here? Why didn't somebody want me? Why did they give me up? Why do I want to see them? I want to meet them. I want to know who they are. Who's my father? Now, let's go back to my father. Now, my mother and I are great. My father's passed away. Never met him. Never met him in my life. But I've spoke to him twice. I've seen him once, and I've spoke to him twice. The first time I ever saw him, I was 9 years old. I was in a courtroom with some lady advocate, I guess, next to me. He came out of the room, didn't know who he was. He went into the jury box or the witness stand. He sat down, and the judge looked over at him, and I'm a little kid, so now I can recollect a little bit of it. But basically, what I recollect was he looked over and said, "Mr. Do you give up your rights to such and such?" And yes, sir. And he goes, "Are you sure that blah blah blah?" Yes, sir. And he walked out the door.
Wow.
I was 9 years old. Now,
Yeah.
fast forward from 9 years old till I was 31 years old, and what happened? I had some issues with a buddy of mine, and unfortunately, I had to call, and I needed some money. I was young, I didn't have the money, and I needed some help, and it wasn't a lot of money. So I reached out, and I literally looked up his phone number. And this is back in the days with the yellow, looking into pages, white pages.
Right.
And I found this, and I called all the names. I know I'm not going to say his name, but I looked up all of them. Finally, got him. He answered the phone, and this is exactly how the conversation went. Hello? I said, so, blah, blah. I said his name, and I said, I'm your son, blah, 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 and I need your help. I said, all I need is $125, okay, to help me get home. I'm stranded, and it's freezing cold in Virginia, and I need $125. I'm on a payphone, standing out, back in the day with the quarters
Oh
stacked on
yeah.
top. You're putting
Right.
4 or 5 quarters in because you're calling long distance collect, because it was way before cell phones. Next thing you know, it was, I said, I need $125. I'm stranded here. I'm at the mechanic store in Virginia, and it's snowing. And he said he'll fix it for me. It's usually 200, but he'd do it for 125. He told me, he said, I can't help you, and hung up the phone. So from that day forward, I gave up on him. You know what I mean?
This is that moment where you see a lot of memes now online and stuff where people are like, there's no one coming to save you. Like there's
that's
no
what I try
one
to tell
going to
people.
help you.
No.
This
that's
is
right,
that moment
you got to get up.
Yeah, and a lot of people can probably relate to that. I had the same or very similar instance. I had great parents, but I got kicked out of my house. I was 17, and
I had great parents. I mean, my step parents or my foster parent or the people that adopted me.
Right.
Amazing. But like you were saying, I went from like no male role model at all. Okay. Mm-hmm. Not even knowing what I was going to eat that day, fighting, with my sister, from 1 to 8 years old. And then all of a sudden going to this man who is, straightforward, come home every day in BDUs, dressed out. You're like, wow, look at that man. You know what I'm saying?
Got to shit together. But yeah, that phone call for you was like this, okay, it's like a wake up call. It's like,
it was.
Okay.
I realized it that day when I turned
around. You grew up a lot that day.
Yes, absolutely. That moment, as soon as that phone, when I hung up that phone, I honestly, truthfully felt like I realized then nobody's coming.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody got your back. Nobody's got your six. Nobody. Yeah. Nobody. And that's how I felt. Now, don't get me wrong. I always knew that like my mom or my stepmom or my father or I'm not my real father because, but my stepfather, he's still alive. Unfortunately, my stepmom just passed from about a month ago from Alzheimer's. So that was, but anyway, he is still going, kicking strong, doing great. I mean, he is an amazing person. It's just, I know they love me because they did all so much for me. I mean, if it wouldn't have been for them, I would have been, God only knows what had happened. I'd probably been in jail, dead, or I don't know, drugs, but I grew up in the country. I didn't know the city, so I'd probably be a drunk and do nothing.
Yeah.
So he was a great guy, but it was just, I never felt like I belonged to anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I felt, and I think that all stems back, and again, I can look back now from years of therapy and years of just self-awareness and thinking that I think it was just from the time that I just didn't feel accepted. I didn't even love myself.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I didn't even know who the hell I was. I didn't know what my purpose was, why did I was given away? Why is this? And why is my sister living in poor? I'm 5 miles away. And my little sister, I'm 9, she's 5 or 6, and she's dirt poor. And I'm begging them to ask them to go to their house so I can see them and give them food.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how I thought about it. And then it got to the point where it was like, I always felt guilty. I felt guilty that now I started blaming myself. Okay, here I was the guy that was giving up, or the kid that was giving up.
Sure.
Now I felt guilty because it should have been her.
Yeah.
Because I always felt guilty because she would have had a better life. Mm-hmm. I know she has a great life now. Sure. She's doing, oh my God, but after talking to her and getting to know her and everything else, she's great. And life is life, and God put you where he put you because, yeah. And I have a big saying that God puts you places where you need to be.
Absolutely. We're here.
Okay.
We gotta go through certain things as a test to make us stronger so that we can help people later on. I mean, our mission here is to help people, and that's, all humans on earth, and, stop squabbling and fighting over this stupid stuff and actually reach out and help people. Yeah. It's, yeah. So, I know people, especially on here, guys, they want this, tactical, oh man, I'm fucking tough, bro. I'm fucking badass, bro. Okay. I wear all this fucking gear. Okay. all that stuff. But I mean, deep
Let me
down,
tell you something. You talk about wearing all the tactical gear. This weekend, I played the first time outdoor ever
yeah,
in a Black Ops, right? 15 minutes from my house. I'm the luckiest man alive. Okay. If you like airsoft, it's 15 minutes away. It's 5, 6 acres. Got everything. It's
shout out
unbelievable.
Black Ops paintball and
Black
airsoft.
Ops,
Yeah,
Myrtle,
Myrtle
Black
Beach.
Ops, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They got paintball, airsoft. Okay. They got rentals. They have parties. You can call them up. I think the only time that they're not open, I think it's probably Monday, the shop. They have a pro shop. They have 2 techs there. Rich is one of the owners, I think. He's a great guy. I called him up last week and I said, actually, I went to go play on Saturday and it was raining. So I got in my car and it stopped raining. I called, and right before I pulled out, I said, I better call him. And I called him. He answered and he said, "No, we rained out today." And then 30 minutes later, the sun pops out and it was 70 degrees all day. So that's just the way it happens. So then I went on Sunday. It was beautiful, 60 degrees. I showed up. I was the first one there. And
Of course.
I'm kind of glad I was, because I got to speak to a lot of the guys that were there, that
Okay.
worked there, and they kind of gave me some pointers and told me, like, for example, I didn't know what, like, it had to be chromed in at 1.2 or 1.3, and all that, and all this,
Yeah.
all that stuff,
What did you take with you? What was your gun?
I took, this, what I showed you wasn't my Goma. This is what I took.
Okay.
The honeycomb. Okay.
Ooh, nice.
This baby right here. Okay. Now this is a Houdini custom. Okay. 4.3.
Yeah, it's a shorter one. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's got a short stroke on it. Now we've got the honeycomb. Okay.
Yeah,
Now let me tell you something. We got the nice thumb rest on the side.
Nice.
Here.
Uh-huh.
We got the rack pull, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wide. We got the wide safety. So the reason I like that, I'll show you. One of the reasons I really like the wide safeties, and I had to get used to something, was that when he asked me, he goes, "Do you want a thumb rest?" And I was like, "What do you mean a thumb rest? Why do I want a thumb rest?" And then he showed me, and it's ridiculous how easy it sits. Can you see what I'm saying? Can you see that?
Okay.
And it sits perfectly. And then one of the reasons I try to tell people that really could help you.
Yeah.
Okay. From the years of me being okay. And I'm sure you know this. Every contact point that your body can have with this weapon.
That's right.
Will make you more accurate.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So again, I'm standing here, I'm holding with one hand. Okay. I'll shoot you. I could probably kill you and shoot you right in the head.
Right.
That
takes a shit ton of practice, by the way.
Yes, but because I know how.
Uh-huh.
And I could do it probably without even looking down the sights.
Right.
Okay. But, airsoft, okay, I found out was a completely different game.
Hey, bro, there's no recoil.
But the one thing I see is so funny is because I went out and played, and I'm telling you, this thing is a workhorse, man. I ran through the mud. I was on my belly. I was crawling. I was going through. I did learn a lot from the fact of how this will perform under the fire. Okay, gotcha. Under the battle.
Yeah.
It's just, instead of out my side in my yard doing karaoke and going cross corners and all that, hitting targets, this here was unbelievable when it came to performance and power. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Now, so I got to learn my weapon. Not only did I get my weapon, but also my gear. Okay. I realized that I don't need as much gear as I need. So my tank was, I was shimmied in I was in a bunker, and I went through one of those concrete, pillars they put up, for the drain pipes, concrete drain pipes. Yeah. So I'm hunkered down in one of those, and there's a little opening. So I'm literally like this, with no other room than 5 people. There's like one dude walk by, pop. He's looking around. You don't know. He calls it. Then another guy, pop. And all of a sudden, like I shoot 5 people. All right. And all of a sudden I go, pop. And I miss a guy. And all of a sudden I rolled over. I went to do like this. I went, boom. And all of a sudden somebody hit me. And he hit me. First shot ever, airsoft. Little kid shot me right in my thumb.
Oh.
Right on right there. On the nail. And the thing is, now look, normally I would never hold my gun like this. Right. My weapon like this. Right. Okay. With my thumb on a thumb rest. Okay. Right. But I love it. Okay. Yeah. In airsoft. I love it. But I had it, and he hit me. And I swear to God, bro, I've been shot before. Okay.
Like with real
But
bullets.
yeah, this, oh my God. I was like, now don't get me
You're
wrong. I
like,
didn't jump
there's
around
no
and
way this little thing hurt that bad.
it hit me. I was like, and I got shot in the head. Didn't hurt. Didn't bother me.
Right.
I got
Yeah.
shot in the finger. And I was just sitting there like, I was walking back to, I had my hand up and I was walking back to the, our ground,
Oh, it's throbbing.
our base. I was walking back and I was just sitting there and I was going, God,
Uh-huh.
and then of course, like they say, 3 seconds later, it was, but again, it was a good experience because it was an eye awakening of realizing what
It's one of
the
the
things
few
you can do.
spots on your body that you can't actually rub out the pain.
Oh,
Like you get shot
yeah,
in the head, you rub it, right? You get shot in the arm,
yeah,
you rub it.
yeah.
Those if you rub your nail when you get shot there,
Oh,
it makes it worse. Like it
yeah.
doesn't
You don't
help.
want to rub. You're not rubbing, putting dirt on that, bro. When how the old days they said rub some dirt on it.
Uh-huh.
But so yeah, so I actually got to go play. And if you go to my Instagram, you can see it, OGKG 715. I was literally like, when I opened my case, when I showed up at the airfield, I thought I was going to be overdressed because of what I know and how the guys and all the gear, my gear that I have. I thought people were going to think I'm some, superhero airsoft guy. Well, when I showed up, there was people out there that looked like they were ready to drop into Afghanistan. Okay. So I felt welcome and I was all in. And one, the good thing was I was in all black and everybody else was in camo,
Uh-huh.
green. And I was like, for the first time, in my life, you know what I'm saying?
You stood out. Yeah.
I'm not, I mean, yeah. And so some guy, after it was over, so literally I walk over, I put down my box, and I have a nice gun case, I cut it out. I got a nice, really nice box, and I got both my guns, and I got my whole HPA system and my Odin and everything in one case. All you gotta do is it's one drop shop. Just open the case, pick it up, your loader, your speed loader,
Right.
anything you need. All right, and your tank. So I open it up, and they're all like, you can see people kind of, and I didn't, I wasn't like, what was I gloating about? I was just there like, okay, how am I going to screw up? Okay, what am I going to do? Who am I going to meet? That kind of thing. Well, as I noticed, people were, kind of looking at me, and I'm thinking like, all right, do I have a booger on my nose, or do I look stupid, or what's going on? Well, about that time, I heard a guy go from behind, just go ask him. And I was like, so I turned around, and it was a little kid. He's about 12, and he's like, I said, what's up, man? He's like, can I see your Kappa? And I was like, yeah, which one? He goes, both of them. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And I said, here. I handed it to him. And he was just, like in awe.
Yeah,
You know what I
sure.
mean? And I was like, and I told him, I said, yeah. And I said, he goes, can I shoot it? I said, yeah, you want to go shoot? Go. There's a little range over there. So I walked over with him and got it. He let him and his dad go shoot it for a little while, probably like 5 minutes. He shot it like I got an extended 250, the EPM one.
Okay.
And him and his dad went through that whole mag. He came back. He went over, filled my tank back up. And he's like, man, he goes, that is so nice. He goes, I'm going to save up and, I'm going to get one.
I was going to say,
And I
that's
was
what
like,
these guys are doing, man.
well, that's what I
That's
told
what
him.
they're
I was like,
working towards.
and that's what I told him. I was like, and I said, well, how old are you? He goes, I'm 12. He goes, I said, that's awesome. I said, what's your allowance? And he goes, well, my dad gives me $10 a week. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I was like, that's awesome. That's good money. I was like, so what do you do with it? He goes, I just save it for like patches. And I was like, really? I said, so you're playing with a rental today. I see that. And I said, okay. Well, I didn't have a gun to give him, which Houdini and I are trying to work on that because he's actually right now making 4 guns for me. I've got 2 here, and he's in the process of making 4.
4 more
at one time. 4 more at the same time.
Bro.
And all different guns. All different high calibers. I'm getting what I want. I'm building up an arsenal. Any of you guys airsofters come into my house, I'm gonna shoot you with a BB gun. I'm gonna have every one of them.
Nut shot.
Okay? That's it. Fingers and nuts, baby. Fingers and nuts. But no. So basically, it was awesome. And then so that was my first time playing.
That's
so
cool,
yeah. So when we got done, I kind of walked over. He walked over, and his dad was like, "Hey, your HPA system." Now you got to understand. I only knew what I knew because I researched with Houdini and Airsoft Dad and everybody else on the channel. Big Bear.
Right.
Yeah, I had no clue. But like going back to you before, I wasn't going to walk on that battlefield. I wanted the best. I didn't want a rental. I didn't want anything.
You do your research.
Right. And I did my research. And like I said, the night of the podcast, going back to the live feed from Airsoft Dad, Houdini was on.
Yeah.
I told him I want a high kappa. Boom. Houdini, hook up with him, hit him up. He hit me up like 30 minutes later. He linked with me. We've been talking ever since. There probably hasn't been a day go by since that day that we haven't talked.
Oh,
and he's been
dude.
building a gun. And he has not been a day that's gone by that he hasn't talked to me about a gun that he's building for me.
Oh, he's a good dude. I had him on.
Awesome.
I think I've had him on twice actually. And
yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I'm going to see him, and I'll be there. I'll be in Nashville at the Nashville field. So shout out to the Nashville Airsoft team in Nashville.
Yep.
We're going to be there. I'll be there on the 5th on a Friday. We're going to go up to the field and walk it and see it, meet all the guys.
Right.
Maybe buy some stuff, see what they got in the shop. And then we're going to play all day Saturday.
Yeah, well, that's what you and I talked about last week was, just a few days ago was the, when we first set this up, and then you said, well, maybe I should wait until I go to this event with Houdini. Right. And I said, well, let's do a podcast now about you and your personal story and your journey or whatever into Airsoft. And then we'll do a separate one with you, me, and Houdini after that event. Right.
That'd be awesome.
I think it'll be really cool, man, because I'm looking forward to that. I love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, the good thing, too, is like everybody thinks I'm crazy because I'm driving 10 hours to go see him. I told him on the phone, I'm not driving 10 hours to go see him. I'm driving 10 hours to go play Airsoft, pick up 4 guns, and probably steal about 3 or 4 patches off his wall.
Hey,
and that's the honest truth. Okay. So this is honest truth. So whoever sees this, I don't know you do. I know you tape it. So Houdini, or don't be so angry at the 2 I got, because I know the 2 I'm going to get.
Oh shit!
So,
okay.
Oh, I know. He knows. I know.
Uh-oh.
He knows the 2 I want, but he just doesn't understand that I'm going to get him. He thinks I'm not. And I'm going to get him.
You know, Houdini's he's a fellow jarhead of mine. Okay, so
I know that 8-year Marine. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he's got every time I see him, he's got a jarhead. All right.
Oh, I know.
Big old dome.
Me too.
That's all right. He's a good guy. I love him to death, man. He's a good family man.
Yeah, he is.
Works hard, plays hard,
100%,
and very genuine. Very genuine. Reach out, guys.
If that were on his original team, Praetorians. Shout out Praetorians up in Nashville.
Yes, shout out to them.
With Brian. I've had him on a handful of times. Call sign Pumbaa.
Pumbaa,
yeah, Pumbaa, and then and then of course his current team, which is HSA. But I want to get into how did you go from you're growing up in foster care, and then you go in the military, and you can talk about that if you want. It's up to you. And then you get out of the military, and then you end up in Airsoft. What was the first thing that, I guess, after all of this life experience, right? All this combat, all this shit, all this work, right? How did you end up stumbling into the Airsoft community in the first place? Like, how did you end up on that call on your Instagram in the first place? I guess,
okay. All right. I'll tell you exactly why, because I've already been asked this question by Houdini and also Airsoft Dad and I through a conversation. When we talk about the military stuff, I just basically tell you I've been through hell and back. Now, coming out, again, I was right back where I was when I was a kid. What's my purpose? Who am I? What do I do now? Who am I?
Well, the military gives you a purpose.
Well, I'm saying, right. That's what I'm saying. I found it.
Orders.
And
like,
then
this is what you're doing.
I found it. I was a young kid.
Yeah.
And then I found it. I found a purpose. I found a reason. Like I told you before, I believe in a higher power. I don't care, you guys out there, who you believe in, what's the religion, brother. All that stuff. There is no atheist in a foxhole, so you better remember that. That's all I tell people. But what God you choose, that's your choice, and God be it. You know what I'm saying? So, but basically, that's how it was. It was more of a coming to like manhood. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up around alphas, and I was going to be an alpha, and I definitely took a lot of the hard road.
Yeah.
And then I have to say, when I got out, it was more or less, I don't know, I lost my purpose again.
Sure.
For the first 2 months, the first 2 months was great because I didn't have to shave anymore. I could let my hair grow out a little bit. But if you see, I'm 52. I still have a head full of hair, and I still get my hair cut every week on Thursdays. Shout out to Laura at 17 Barbershop here in Myrtle Beach. But every
Shout out,
Thursday at
Laura.
11:30.
All right.
If you want to find me at 11:30 every Thursday, okay, that's where I get my hair cut.
Damn,
So
every week, bro. Okay,
every Thursday
you
at
carried that over
11:30.
from the military. All right,
That's
you're
the
gonna
only
get that
thing.
high and tight.
I still, yep. But
It
I
looks
did
good,
look,
man. It looks good.
but I did grow a little,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
a little bit of fake. But the reason I grew that was because I can.
yeah.
And the first two
Well,
things I did when I got
it's
out, let me
kept.
tell you the first two things. The first two things I did the second day I got out, I went and got that, and I went and got that.
Yeah.
Because
See,
you
you know
can't have,
what, dude? I'm so glad you said that, because when I went in, close to when you and I are close to the same age, and when I went
yeah,
in, all these guys now that are going in and getting out, like they serve like 4 or 5, 6 years, whatever, and they get out. It's like they go in with tattoos, they come out with sleeves and all this kind of shit. While they get sleeves while they're in, bro. When I went
uh-huh,
in, you could not have a
uh-huh.
tattoo below the sleeve of your
Yeah.
uniform. Okay, with
Well,
like
when I look, that's the one thing I can tell you, like to go off what you're saying.
yeah,
An example. Okay, if you look at my tattoo, it stops right here.
right,
Okay,
uh-huh,
I went in with that right here, stopping right there. Okay, because if it was right here,
yep,
I would not have been able to go in
no,
because that's where your dress blues right there.
exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And that's where it ends.
You
So
couldn't have showing
what
tattoos
I
on your
did was
hands. Yep,
what I did was I put established 1971 right
nice.
on the line.
Yeah,
That's my birthday, right on the line, and
right.
then
I'm
of
70.
course,
Yeah,
yeah, there you go. So so that was basically, I had some tattoos. I'm tattooed up. I'm not gonna lie, my arms.
sure.
You see my picture. You guys can see my picture on there.
Yeah,
I
go
mean,
to
I'm
go to his Instagram. Anyone that's I'll have that link in here. Your Instagram.
yeah, that's fine. Just go to my Instagram,
Yeah,
and that's fine. I don't. There's not a lot of most of my content is shout outs to the people who send me things or things I buy,
yeah,
that kind of thing. Now getting back to what you were talking about, what got me into airsoft
yeah,
and how when I got out, things were. I don't know. I just went through a relationship, went through another relationship, couldn't find, and it wasn't like I
oh,
don't
you were
know.
searching.
I felt lucky because there was really nothing. I didn't. I had all functions. I was good,
Sure.
and then all of a sudden I just kept guessing myself like, okay, what's going on? What are you going to do? You're going to go to work. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Or you can't work more than 20 hours. What are you going? Well, what are you going to do? And then it got to the point where my wife was like, and the gym got old. How long can you? I don't work out more than an hour. So anybody out there that looks at my picture, guys, I work out an hour a day, 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off for an hour a day. That's
Yeah.
it.
Right.
And do your cardio and eat right. That's it.
Yep.
And if you have some bad habits, just keep them on the low end.
Right.
That's basically how I've lived my life. But getting into what got me into airsoft, I'll tell you this: it's a community, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, whoever.
Same.
There was
Same here.
there was a bunch of there was probably 7, 8, 9, 10 girls that were out there playing,
Yeah.
rigged up, and I'm talking running, full run, and having fun,
Sure.
killing it. But the community, that's what it got. When I got in that phone call, the best thing that happened to me was me literally saying, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah.
And seeing my name go across that board because I'm not from a social media guy. So, and seeing my picture
Yeah,
and
yeah.
my name scroll up that
You're like,
screen,
holy shit.
and for him, and then, well, I was kind of like, okay. And then I'm like, here I am, and they're going to see the picture, and I need to change that picture. But like I said, it comes from my YouTube, because I was doing I was, obviously into the butt thing or whatever. But I'm not going to change it. That's who I am, and it is what it is.
Now, when did you get
But
into bodybuilding? Was that during the military or
um,
after?
I got into bodybuilding probably. That was another outlet.
Sure.
That was one of those things, kind of like you dive into down that rabbit hole and you put everything into it.
Listen, most people don't understand. If you're not an alpha
Yeah.
male, okay, if you're not an alpha male or alpha personality, whatever, you may not understand this, but when most alphas, I think all alphas, when we go into something, it's 1,000%.
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely. And that's
it doesn't.
absolutely.
It might change, but whatever we go into, whatever we're into at that moment,
Mhm.
it is 100%. Nobody can sway us. It doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter what the stats are. It doesn't matter what, we don't look at numbers. We're into this, and that's fucking it, bro. And we're going to do it
The best,
until we get bored with it. That's it.
the best thing, that's the best way to put it, because you, like I said, I used bodybuilding as a reason for my bodybuilding. The gym was my Prozac. The gym was my Xanax. The gym was my drug of choice. The gym was my alcohol. The gym was my womanizing. The gym was my running out late night at bars, all that stuff. No, the gym.
Yeah.
Okay. And everybody go like, I don't understand how you give up. It's like, because that's just the way I live my life. I'm not a, I just the way I want to do it. That's all you think about all the time.
Yep.
Now, do I over obsess about it? No. I stay minimal. I do my research. I'm not stupid. I don't go lifting crazy weights, whatever. I like to be functional. We have a, and fuckable.
Exactly.
Okay, there you go. I like to be able to move. You're going to see me, and you're going to see a 240-pound man, but you're going to see a guy that can roll and move and jump, and I'm not muscle bound. Now, during my bodybuilding times, I still did everything. I still stretched and did all that. But again, it was more or less an outlet, a purpose. I would train. I'd get ready for shows. I'd pick out, just like now with the traveling with Airsoft. I'm going to travel, guys. You guys out there that you want to be promoted, I don't want anything free. Just, tell me who you are, whatever, boom, boom. I'll buy it. I'll put it on it. And I'm probably going to give it away at the event. Just like I gave Houdini's patch away. Didn't want to. I mean, it was awesome too. But the kid, I gave him the patch. If you go to my Instagram, or you go to my Instagram page, you'll see my last post is a picture of the kid that I was with, that I gave the patch to, who loved my high kappa, my honeycomb.
Yeah.
I gave him that patch, and I put it on his chest plate, and we took a picture together, and I put it on my Instagram, and it made, he was like, when I said, like, we get back to that, he told me, he said, I'm gonna save my money. And I said, well, you do. And I gave his dad Houdini's Instagram page. He goes, I said, when you save your money, you're ready. You call your dad, will get on Instagram, and he'll get with Houdini. And I gave him my Instagram, and we're gonna get you a kappa. So what I'm gonna do is, he doesn't know it, but he doesn't know it. But I've got, like I said, 7 guns that I've had made from Houdini. So we're going to take all the parts that we had from all the stocks, and we're going to build one for him.
Okay.
And when I see him next Saturday, or Sunday, whichever, Sunday, I think it's Sunday. Yeah. I'm going to give it to him.
Nice.
when we get it made.
Right.
I'm driving up there to see Houdini. Like I said, on the 6th, I'm picking up 4 guns. We're going to make one for him. Houdini can build a gun. It takes longer to get the parts than it does for him to make it.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy. I mean, it's ridiculous, the artwork that he can put into, and not just the artwork, the performance. Sure. And that's the one good thing about it. I got lucky, guys. I mean, I really did. When it comes to Airsoft, I fell into, like I said, I'm going to keep telling you this, God puts you in places where you're supposed to be. God put me on that channel, and I said hi, and I'm ended up now. I've got,
and now
guys.
And now you're on a podcast, and
and I've got guys
playing.
out there. Yes. Yep. And I love it.
Not only
I'm addicted,
are you playing, you've already positively impacted somebody else, a new player in Airsoft.
And that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be about me. I don't want to be, I'll go to play Airsoft, get out, and on the field, I want to have fun. I'm not going to try to, I'm going to get killed. I'm going to get shot all the time. But I'm not going to be whatever. I'm not going to be a bully, but I'm going to go, and I'm going to go hard. Yeah. But when I step off of that, it's going to be all about the kids. All about, that's all the reason it is. Because to me, I'm going back from not just, I have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? I can take some kid that doesn't have to go through what I went through. Like, at 10 years old, 12 years old, maybe his dad wasn't around. Maybe his mom wasn't around. But what was so cool with me was that his dad was with him, and they were playing together. And he was so enamored by what I was playing with and my gear. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if this kid only knew that I am nobody, I don't even, this is the first time I'm here,
not nobody,
and I told him, and I told the kid, I was like, look, bro, I was like, all you see is from help from that guy's patch that you got on your chest. Yeah. He helped me, guide me through everything, that channel. And even the guys that I met, I gave them my thing, and I told them, reach out to these people. This is a community that's awesome. If you want a brotherhood or a community of good guys, not this, like trying to kill you and beat you over the head with prices like patches. And don't get me wrong, I love patches. I think they're awesome because, I'm in the military. You're in the military. Patches are, we've been doing that for years. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to sit there and try to beat somebody over the head with prices and patches and things like that. But
That's one of the issues is when people do that, when they start coming out with their own patches, they try to, this is my ticket. This is my meal ticket. I'm going to make, so much money on this. I'm going to sell, 500 patches at, $30 a piece, bro.
You'll be lucky if you sell 25.
If you're selling your patches more than $15, okay. I understand there's like limited runs. I understand, but on average.
Yeah. I'll tell you,
because
that's why
I've had patches made. We've had these patches made. We had from multiple different companies, and you can get them made. Nowadays, they went up, but for like $4 a piece. Okay.
Well, I've got one coming out. So
yeah,
you guys go to my Instagram.
For more than $10-15, you're kind of, in my opinion, you're kind of scamming people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I've got patches coming out probably in about a week and a half. They're going to be released on Airsoft Dad's channel on his when he goes live. It's the first patch. Is that the ones you were posting on your Instagram with the? Yeah, go to my Instagram. You'll see that. Absolutely, you'll see it. It'll glows in the dark. So you'll guys, when you see it, make sure you scroll because you'll see how it glows. And yeah, it's nice. I like it. Nice. I hope those guys like it. Now again, I'm going to be more versatile next time. It'll be maybe an embroidery patch. Yeah. Instead of, I don't want to be one sided. I want to kind of do it all, not just eventually. Switch it up. Sure. I'm not trying to do this to make money. I'm not trying to. Well, let me tell you this. If you do go with embroidered, if you don't have a company already, selected to make your patch, if you don't know somebody, go to Green Wolf Tactical. Okay, look him up on Instagram. Okay. I've had him on. His name's Finn. I've had him on the podcast. I met him in person, in real life. Okay. Where's he at? He's out of Georgia, not far. Does he have a patch himself? Does he have? What's his company? Yeah, so he does. So that's his company. He actually doesn't play Airsoft. What's it called? Green Wolf Tactical. Oh, it's called Green Wolf Tactical? Okay. So he has patches with Green Wolf Tactical. So he does hats, he does T-shirts, he makes all this stuff out of his own. He's a USMC veteran. He was in during GWAT. So I mean, I had him on the podcast. He actually never played Airsoft, but I had him on because he's involved in the Airsoft community with his patches, his hats. Yeah. He makes all these things for people. And so if you're going to go embroidered, that's what he does. That's what he specializes in. Well, just hit me up with his link when we get off. I will. And I'll hit him up. Shout out to Green Wolf Tactical. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'll tell him to I'll make sure you tell him to give me the trifecta discount. Yeah. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing, though? No, that's a good thing. Bro, I can't imagine anyone having a bad thing to say about trifecta. I don't know. Maybe sometimes. I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you. I'm teasing. No, but basically, that's what got me into it. And that community, man, let me tell you something. They are some good guys. I have not met them yet, but I'm actually going to meet Airsoft Dad in Indiana in May. Yeah. He had, like I said, they had Red Dawn this weekend at the same place. I'm kind of irritated to him because he made custom patches just for that. And I'm 12 hours away and I couldn't get one. Uh-oh. I was even trying to get somebody there that I knew that was there to get me one. They couldn't pull it off. He wouldn't give me one. He said they were limited made, and I don't get me wrong, I understand they were limited made, and it was for the people there at the tournament, so that's fine. What? But it is what it is. Okay. I mean, I'm not hating. I mean, if it is what it is, cool. Well, I know he made a limited run, and I know people had, if he's got that amount of people, and most of the time, most of them want two. That's true. One to put on their rig and one put on their wall. Yep. And I understand all that. I mean, let me tell you something. I'm not going to sit there. I'll be honest with you. There are some patches that I have gotten that I paid $25 for. That's maybe one or two of them, but that's it. The rest of them, ain't no way I'm going to pay more than that. Now let me tell you somebody. I'm going to give a shout out to Runa Group. Runa.group. Okay. He has hooked me up. I walked up to my mailbox today and I got my cable bill and my electric bill. And I was like, damn, shouldn't have walked to the mailbox today. But then there was a black envelope a nice padded black envelope in my box. I was like, what is this? I come in the house. Of course, I throw the bills onto the side because I don't need to look for those.
Nah.
I know what those are.
Exactly.
So I open up the package, and Runa Group, he sent me his new banner, like just released, drop. If you guys go to his Instagram, Runa Group it's Runa Group, I think it is RUNA.GURP. Okay. Amazing. His let me get you real quick. Like this is something he does. Let me show you. This is his like stuff he does. Like this is one of his patches. Okay, really nice. A little, coffin. This is Rona camo. He just came out with. I just got.
Nice.
Okay, that's really nice. That's a good patch. Now I'll tell you my favorite patch.
Logo?
Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's that right there.
Oh,
now,
okay.
Yeah. Now I'll show you I wear on my rig because he saw it on Instagram. He saw where I was wearing it, and all of a sudden I didn't know who he was. I just saw the patches and thought they looked good.
Yeah.
And I wanted to wear them. So let me show you what I got. So what I wear on my rig is basically his patches, and basically because they look good and they're durable. Like he sent me this one today.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's beautiful on my vest, right up on the top of your mag. Sets up. Then this is my favorite. And I don't know why. Really, I've sat there and stared at it and I have 3 of them. He sent me. I bought one, and he sent me 2.
Yeah.
Okay. In a box, in a group with other stuff like a gift. And I have this on my vest, and this is it. Just that plain. That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Clean, simple, and and then so I think that then I start thinking that's my favorite.
Yeah. Then
all of a sudden I see this.
Oh shit.
And then I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not fair. So then he does this to me. Then he comes up and he goes, I'll show you. So then he comes up to me and he sends me this.
Whoa.
So now I've got this on my rig.
That's a
I've
patch?
got this. Yes. Then I got this on my rig.
That's unusual, okay? Bro. That
yes.
It's all cut out like that.
Yes, dude. Then I got this on my rig. Okay. These. Just like that. That and that. Like that. And then I got my R over here. Okay. Or over here. He's got camo. He's got this one.
Not that one,
yes.
But the other one. Yeah, that one. You know what that reminds me of is the symbol in the movie V for Vendetta. Remember the government?
Yes. V for Vendetta. Yep. And this right here this one is just amazing. It's awesome. Up close, cool. When you see it, man, it's just really nice, durable PV. It's not cheap.
I like the shape.
He's got it. Yeah, the coffin. It's awesome, man. And his patches are just ridiculous. And again, don't get me wrong. I've got. I'll tell you. There's a ton of them. I don't have a lot
be
yet.
Your favorite until I send you mine. Okay.
And then there you go. There you go. It'll be right on my. It'll go. Actually, to be honest with you, when I told you earlier I liked your patches because on my rig I'm all black and white or black and camo.
Yeah.
It looked perfect. I know where I put that R is going to come off. It's going to go on my wall. That one will put on my vest.
Nice.
It'll fit perfectly.
Yeah.
That's why I was eyeballing it. That's why I was eyeballing it when I told you got to send me one of those. Yeah. So that'll definitely go on my rig. So yeah, he sent me I'm not going to move my camera, but it's his banner. It's huge, and it's got his coffin. It's got that patch I showed you, the coffin patch in red. Go on his website, guys, RUNA.group, and look at his stuff. He's got some really good, if you're into that kind of thing. So he's got some, all these guys.
I'll put the link for that in this
put it
in this video. Yeah, I will.
But there's so many, but again, be honest with you guys, there's so many people that I've met that it's ridiculous. It's been so overwhelming and awesome.
Yeah.
Because again, getting back to the reason, and again, that kid out there, that person out there, that 50-year-old, that 40-year-old, that 13-year-old, I'm gonna tell you right now, the best thing you can do is reach out and find somebody that you can, really just basically feel like you belong.
Yeah.
Find out, if you're like me, I was more or less didn't know my life, didn't know my purpose, and then Am I a loner? Yes, but I need my brotherhood. You know, I need my community.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I need, if it may be, we might be 3 deep, or we might be 10 deep. You know, we might be, you know, whatever. But
Right.
it's in this group that I got into, it really changed. My wife even said, she said, you know, like, basically, you know, she's like, you know, you sat on the phone in there and laughed for 2.5 hours to two guys that you didn't even know. And you came out and you were laughing and you were still laughing. And you made a friendship on the internet and you don't even know the guy. I mean, you never met him physically. And now you guys talk every night. You know, and I was like, yeah. And she was like, you realize that 3 hours went by and you didn't feel any, you know, I wasn't going through my
You weren't
depression, or I
serious.
don't know. That wasn't all my demons, I guess. I don't have depression. I don't want to use
No,
the word depression.
no.
I
The
don't
thing
have depression.
is, look, the thing is
The
about
demons in my
alphas,
life.
honestly, and this is even before the military, even before, you know, you see things that you don't want to see or whatever. As a personality, when I was like 10 years old, bro, I was asking my mom some serious questions. Okay. I was 12
Mhm.
years old. I remember her telling me like, oh my God, like you were so serious, you know, like that's
Yeah.
just part of uh, you know,
Well,
our
you're talking
personality
about
trait
writing letters,
is, hey, we're a little more serious in real life.
right?
And that just, you know, I want to understand how things work. Okay.
Right.
And where I fit in, you know? And
Right.
so, you know, that's a constant question. No matter what you end up going through in life, that personality
Everybody's
that we
yes.
have, that is a thing. And, you know, we're going to struggle with that. If we don't
Oh,
have a
absolutely.
purpose, we're going to struggle with that, you know?
Well, the biggest thing that I think that I'd like to tell everybody, that I try to get my message across, is, again, I started off by saying, and from the start of this podcast, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes in my life that, gosh, I wish I could change. There's things now, when I say I knew what I signed up for, there's things that I've done in my life that I should not feel bad for, should not have no, but they'll always be with me. And I call those my demons. Okay. And we all have them. Everybody's got a story. You know what I mean? And if you don't know that, the one thing I try to tell people is stop judging people. Okay. And I'm not going to use the old cliche of stop judging people by the book, you know, the cover of the book and all that, but really stop judging people. You know, stop like instantly thinking that what you see. And I say that and when I say that, like, for example, going back to my bodybuilding days, you know, somebody would see me, I would literally intentionally wear a sweatshirt or wear a long sleeve shirt, or a shirt or a baggy shirt or whatever, just so I didn't get, you know, hey, you look like you work out every day,
Prejudged. Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing, you know, or you're a meathead, you
Yeah.
know, and I spent my whole entire life trying to stay away from that image, you know what I'm saying? Not for fun. You know, I wanted to be the guy that, hey, you want to lose weight, man? Let's do this. Or a woman, or whoever you are, a child that's overweight, whatever. That's the kind of person I was.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, you know, and everybody wanted to be. I tried to tell people. It was like then I got to the point where back in 2018 was my last show I ever did. Okay, now I walked off the stage. I was 42 shows. I finished. I won. It was Mr. Myrtle Beach. Won the whole, you know, won the show and won the overalls and won the masters class. And I retired. I quit. Had no more fun. I had no fun, but I knew going through that. Because here's the thing: people don't know about, like, for example, bodybuilding. I didn't know anything about airsoft. Like bodybuilding, you know, your off season's a good time because you get to eat, you get to live, and you get to go, right? Well, the hard times when you know, you got to go those 16, 21 or whatever weeks, 12 weeks, whoever,
You're
depending
cutting.
on who you are, going through that cut, going through that issue, going through those stages to where you're taking that 245-pound frame down to about 227, 225, trying to dial it in on one certain day.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So everything comes down to all that training and everything. And I try to explain to people, it's kind of like Usain Bolt. Can you imagine the life that he lives and the pressure he lived under? He practiced every single day of his life, was organized for 9.6 or 9.7 seconds of his life,
Yep.
made or break him.
Yep.
That's what made or break him. That's what made his life.
100%.
Every day of his life was a time, was a clock. How many of us lived a career that lived under a time clock? You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not talking about like going to office, going to work.
No,
I'm
the
not talking
average
about that kind
person
of, where you can
can't
take
handle that kind of
vacations,
pressure.
or you got PTO time, or you got
No, they
sick
back
time, or you
out.
got
They
this.
back out before
No,
they
you
get
got,
put in
right,
that position. Yeah.
right. And for example, if you go to Usain Bolt and you go it was like 3 months before the Olympics, and you said, "Are you ready?" No, I'm not ready. If he tells you he's ready 3 months out, no, he's not ready. But no, that's the thing. It's that whole goal. So to me, the bodybuilding gave me a purpose. It gave me a goal, because I'll tell everybody, if you got a goal, you better have a plan, because a goal without a plan is just a damn wish.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear everybody today. Oh, that's my goal. That's my goal. What are you going to do about it? What's your plan? Well, I don't know. It's going to drop from the fucking sky, I guess. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, that's why I tell people
Yeah.
all the time that. And I guess, and don't get me wrong, I was stubborn head like that too when I was younger. So I can sit here and talk like that. I'm not one of these guys that like get off my lawn because I'm 52 and I lived my life, blah, 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 blah. I enjoy hanging out with younger guys. Houdini's in his 30s. And we laugh and have fun and we joke.
Yeah.
Airsoft Dad, he's in his upper 40s.
Right.
And we laugh and we joke and we have fun. Rona Group, they're in like 17, 20, 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
We laugh and we have fun. And we have the same thing in common, and it's airsoft. And we get to talk about all that stuff.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And people don't, and get me wrong, the gym, I lost it. It was gone. The luster. It was just, I still go. I still do those, but we're doing shows, doing all that stuff. And it I just didn't have its purpose anymore. It just didn't serve that. The demons, it didn't keep them. It didn't keep, it didn't keep the demons. If you want to know the honest truth, and I had to put it across the board, it didn't keep the demons away anymore.
There you go.
Like, why did you stop doing it? Because I didn't enjoy it anymore, because it didn't keep the demons anymore.
Well, the thing is, once you get proficient at something, you don't have to actually put a lot of thought energy into it. So now all that old shit comes in, because you already got this shit down. That's why a lot of us that's why a lot of us are like, okay, we move from one thing to another. Once I learn this thing, and I'll become proficient at something really quickly, like within a few months.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, obviously, if it takes time, 6 months, a year, or whatever, to build, your body responds.
We got to hone your craft. Yeah. Absolutely.
But as far as mentally learning something, I'm going to get bored with something in a very short time.
Oh, absolutely.
If I don't have something new to move on to, bro, I fucking hate boredom, because that's, like you said, when the demons come in, that's when the overthinking, I start moving backwards, and I hate moving backwards. Okay.
Never. Yeah. I stopped doing that. And like you're talking about moving backwards, I stopped digging holes.
Yeah.
And, like I told you before, when we had a conversation, I told you, taking, that phrase, you go 2 steps.
That they'll create drama to make that purpose in their life.
And yes. And the thing is, like, I tell people, like I told you, I was telling everybody else, people talk going down that rabbit hole. Well, if you want to stop what's going on in your life, stop digging that hole. Get out of that hole. Put dirt back in that hole. Fill that hole up.
If it took you, they actually don't realize it, but they like that hole. Well, they say they don't, but they like that hole. They really do, because they keep digging them.
Yeah, well, they keep digging them, and guess what? They're going to end up alone, and I don't know. I don't even know what they're going to end up like, because I'm not going to be like that.
Well, it is.
I thought I was going to be.
Take like a self-assessment, and usually I do this almost every night, just naturally. When I close my eyes, when I'm in the dark, right, and I'm staring at the ceiling or whatever, I do a lot of self-assessment. And what am I doing? Where is my, because sometimes things that happen outside of your control kind of change your how you're going to get to your goal, so how am I going to get there? How am I going to do this? And I do a lot of, and it takes, taking the time to do this. So I have, I write down notes every day, right? I have a pen and paper right here. I'm constantly, even in my phone, and I use Google Keep, and when I'm on the fly or outside, things that pop in my head. Sometimes I'll do a voice recording. Sometimes I'll do a video recording. It is important to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's important to do, because you need to assess yourself. If you don't have a life coach or a really good friend that's on your level that can push you, iron sharpens iron. where you guys can push each other and go, hey, what did you do today to make yourself better? Right.
That's right. Well, I always tell everybody,
it's hard
do
to get
something
somebody
today
like that in your life.
Yeah. What a basic simple rule I live by is I try to do one thing today that's going to make me feel better about myself tomorrow.
There you go.
That's one thing you can live by. I don't do it every day. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but I literally try to help. I mean, if you ask anybody that, really, truly knows me, they'll tell you that I will take a bullet for anybody out there.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I don't care if I was standing there with whoever, my wife, whoever, and this and that, and some Joe Schmo blow I didn't know was standing there, was about to get shot. I would take that bullet for him.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that, and then people say, what? And I can't tell you why. That's just in me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's just no different to me when talking about Usain Bolt. How does he run that fast? Because it's in him.
Yeah,
it's nothing. Bro. You can't teach it. You can't teach it. It's something that's there.
Right.
When you walk in, like, what I'm talking about, like a real man. When you walk into a room, you survey that room. You check. Yeah. I check exits. I check fastest way in. I never sit my back to the door. I'm always,
it only took about 6 months for my wife and I when we got married. We were married at 21. It only took a very short time for her to understand. When we go into a restaurant, you sit here, I'm sitting there. We do this every time. She knows this is what we do. My kids know. Okay, even today, my kids are adults. We still, Dad's sitting here because I'm facing the door. Period. I don't care.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sitting in the back of the booth. Okay, I'm sitting on the end.
No, I'm not sitting. I'm on no. And I don't usually get booths. I usually get table.
Yeah, a table. It's easier to get up from a chair. Yep.
And also, you could flip a table around, do something for cover, do something. You know what I mean?
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, that's just something. Here's what I tell people. I mean, if you go walk around my room in my car and I have an EDC, an everyday carry that I have.
Yeah.
Far as medical, I mean, over here, I mean, you can't see things I have in my house, or my room, but I have a box that has about 5 tourniquets, pretty much everything that a field medic would have on the battlefild. Gotcha. A bleed out kit, trachea. I've got 7 saline bags for hydration, 5 tourniquets. I've got lots of tourniquets. 3rd degree flash burns, any type of 3rd degree burns. This is actually 7 foot long layer, like an artificial skin layering protection for someone who got, you get burned, or from any kind of burn, any kind of blast or shock. 7 foot long, and literally lay on top of for dressing to keep them before.
Like stuff built
in. It's basically, yes, it is basically to get them ready to be evac'd out really fast. Right. It's not for a very long time. You're hoping up to about at least 30 minutes or so. Gotcha. Tops. And that's really fast. I mean, 30 minutes is a long time. People don't realize that, but 30 minutes, I've been there. 30 minutes is a long time. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, like I tell people, when you look around my house, they think, oh God, you're paranoid. I'm like, no, I'm prepared.
Prepared, bro.
I don't worry about somebody coming into my house.
Living in fear. And prepared is, I have these things available. I know how to use them. I've taught everyone around me how to use them.
Yep. And there's another thing too. I do not have children. I do not have anyone else in my house. If someone touches my guns, it's my dog. My dog found my gun, and he shot someone. That's it. That's the only way to someone, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yes, I do safety of guns, safety of any kind of weapon. I mean, there's not a single point around where I couldn't grab something that's going to use for a weapon.
Absolutely.
And again, that's not having anything to do with paranoia. There's nothing, but again, that's what's kept me here for 52 years.
You
see what I'm saying?
My wife and I have 5 children, 3 boys, 2 girls.
Gosh. Wow.
And,
wow.
They're all in their 20s now. My oldest one's 29. Wow. My youngest one's 22. And since the time they were babies, we had guns in our house.
You got girls? All girls or boys?
No, we got 3 boys, 2 girls.
Oh, you got 4. Oh,
we have 5.
You got a basketball team.
Yeah,
we have a basketball team.
And they're all within 2 years apart. So.
Oh my gosh, y'all did it early and got it done.
5 and 7 years.
She wanted it done.
So
She wanted it done
Well, what was
fast.
funny was my dad, when after like the third
Did
one,
you, did you
my
come
dad
from a
was
big
like,
family?
dude, do you know what causes this? I was like, uh, I thought it was in the water. I don't know.
Did you come from a big family?
No. No, so no. I'm
Did
going to
you?
tell you how it happened. I'm going to tell you how it happened, okay? So
I don't want you to
anyone
tell me how it
that's
happened. I know how it happens.
not the how to, but the mentality behind it was when we first got married, I still had almost 2 years left in the Corps. I was stationed in California. My wife and I, she wanted to go to church when we got married, right? We both grew up Catholic, and
Good.
I didn't go to church when I was in the Corps. And so when we got married, she was like, "Let's go to church." I was like, "Okay, whatever." So we went to this church, local church in Fallbrook, California,
Okay.
and really small town. And the first
Now, where
couple we
are you?
met,
Where are you originally from? South Carolina?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
we grew up. Both my wife and I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Well, actually, Akron, Ohio. It's a suburb. And
Oh, you're a LeBron James.
yeah, LeBron. Yep, right around LeBron James. And I know exactly. We don't like him either. But we met in high school. We met our senior year, and our first date was actually the day of our graduation. So our graduation day was our first date. So we went to the graduation, and then the party, right? And the after party
Wow.
was our first date. So that was in June of '89. I was already signed up to go. I signed up to the military in the delayed entry program, the DEP program.
Oh,
So I was
yeah.
slated to go October 11th of 1989 to Paris Island for boot camp. And so she went to Kent State
Oh, okay.
University up in Ohio.
Yeah, I know Kent State.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
it's kind of infamous because of the
Yeah.
shootings in the 60s during the Vietnam riots,
Right.
the protests, whatever. So, but anyway, yeah. So she went there. I went in the Corps, and so anyway, we've known each other since high school. So we got married. We
Wow.
have 5 kids, and yeah. So all of our kids growing up in our house after the military, after I got out and stuff, we always had guns. Always had guns in our house, and I always taught them, gun safety from a very young age. I actually have a video with my younger son. I think it was my youngest son. He was the number 4. I took him to the range, the indoor range, when he was 5. Okay, and
Wow.
so I had a
Nice.
little, 22 pistol. Okay, and I
Yeah.
let them shoot
Yeah.
22 pistol, and then I would let him shoot a 38 pistol. It's a
Okay.
1955 Smith & Wesson Model
Wow.
10 revolver. It's a service revolver that was given or issued to my wife's grandfather. He was Summit County up in Northeast Ohio, Summit
Yeah.
County Sheriff's Department for 20 years after he was in World War II in the Army. And he
Wow.
passed it on to me, and when I married Jen. So I still have it today. And it's a great tapered barrel. The thing's beautiful. So anyway, I let my son shoot it at 5 years old. I taught all my kids how to shoot this
That's
same
awesome.
thing, yeah, in an indoor range. And now down here in South Carolina, we don't have to go to indoor range. We have an acre lot. We can shoot out the back door. Okay, walk on
Yes,
our back
sir.
deck and shoot in the backyard. I fucking love it. But
I
yeah,
love
all of
it.
our kids
Isn't
grew up
it? It's
around,
awesome.
shooting
These
guns.
guys that live in the city have no idea what it's
No,
like to walk out, load a weapon, walk out on your back porch, and shoot a target that's sitting about 50 yards
I'm
away,
telling you, bro.
and not have one worry at all about
Yeah.
safety. And no, I mean, again,
And
don't
not
get me
only
wrong,
that, but
guys.
all of our neighbors do the
I'm
same thing.
100%. Oh, absolutely. My
Yeah.
neighbors are like, it's probably 3, 5, way down there.
Yeah.
They're doing it too. And they're probably sitting at the dinner table going, yep, there goes him, Kevin, shooting
I
off
know.
again.
Somebody asked me, I'm not
I'm
kidding,
sitting
bro.
watching
Somebody asked
TV.
me like a couple months ago, can you tell by the gunshot sound if somebody's
Absolutely.
shooting somebody or if somebody's
I
just shooting in their backyard? I was like, not really. I mean, there's
I can tell you the
gunshots
sound
going
of what it
off all
is.
the time in our neighborhood, bro. Like, I don't know.
Right. I mean, I could tell you it's a gunshot, but I can't tell you if they actually hit somebody.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Shit.
could, unless I hear him screaming,
It's
"You guys, you
screaming.
shot me!" Yeah, yeah. Unless I hear it, but Yeah, I mean, now don't get me wrong. Now, when I was a young kid, I tell you, times have changed, and you know that. Like, for example, I remember driving to school
Yeah.
on the back of my truck, 2 gun rack, shotgun, and a 30-30.
Yep.
Okay, 12 gauge or a 20 gauge or 16 or and it definitely my
30-06, bro. Yeah.
30-06, some type of shotgun, and then my rifle, my 30-30. Okay,
Yeah.
and now today, and drive into school, park into my spot, windows down, go into class, get out of school, go to my car, get in my truck, drive home, 4 o'clock, get dressed, put on my BDUs because my dad was in the military. I had every accessible military stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, at 15, I was at 15, I was literally taking the M16s apart and cleaning them and putting them back together.
Dude.
I mean, and could do it with my brother and my dad.
Everyone's like, "Oh shit, you already know this."
Well, yeah, I realized he was running. Okay, at the time when I was a kid, he ran at that time he went into the National Guard.
Yeah.
Okay, during his time,
right,
he did 36 years.
Oh wow.
Okay, he retired brigadier general after he ran Fort Jackson for quite a long time.
Okay.
Yes, so he was bigwig there, big time.
Yeah.
And I'm the black sheep of the family, so. I have an older brother. He's way up there. He's at Jackson. He's in the colonel range. Okay. I remember when he first started out, he was in Desert Storm.
Okay.
He's a little bit older than me, so I remember I was in high school. And he went off. And he was in Desert Storm, and I remember all the worry. My mom sitting at the TV at the time, watching and all that. And then, of course, my dad, when I was, younger, I wasn't there when he went through his time of service as far as the battle time.
Yeah.
Because then because he went to college and he went in, then he became an officer. So he saw battle, but then after that, it was more or less he ran things. Yeah. He ran Fort Jackson for a long, long time. He was at the 32nd MP Battalion out of Florence, South Carolina. Okay. He ran that for a long time. He was the colonel there, or the major that ran there. And then they got promoted him up, and then he ended up becoming brigadier at Fort Jackson and ran Fort Jackson for probably about, if I can remember, and man, I tell you what, don't write it in stone, but I'd probably say a good 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And then he retired. And let me tell you, he didn't retire. That man is always on the go, always doing something. He has the best craft. I remember growing up as a kid, we had a wood shop outside our house, and we go in there. He had the lathe, and we would literally lathe things. Like he literally would lathe make a table.
Legs,
he made the bed. He made the bed posts. I mean, it looked amazing. Yeah. He had every tool imaginable. I remember him. It was after dinner. It was time to go to the shed, and it was an old house that he had. And he left the fireplace in it. And it was an old brick fireplace. Okay. So during the wintertime, we have heat. And I would always go in and we'd go in and just watch him just do stuff. And I thought, to me,
he was the brother that was better at finishing things, like making things look nice, and you were the brother that was better at breaking shit. I was the guy that was better at breaking shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always tell people it was always hard. It was easier to take things down than it is to put things up.
Absolutely. I'm still like that today.
I'm the same way.
Please give me something to break, okay?
Yeah. It's like, for example, we all know I think I'm guilty of it. I know you are. You open up a box and the first thing the manual goes
in the fucking trash, bro.
Right. Like, and that's even if you're trying to it doesn't matter what you're trying to put together.
No.
Okay. It goes in the trash, Of course, trash. the wife is this way, you're over here, we don't need that,
Why don't you stop and ask for directions? I'm like, fuck that. We're going to figure it out.
No. Yeah. That's the one thing that, that's the one thing to me that will drive me nuts.
Yeah.
I do not like to be lost.
Oh, I know.
Right? I don't get lost very often, but I'm saying, if you're driving around somewhere, I do not I don't get road rage. I get, not paranoia, but I get this is not
the same way. Yeah.
I am lost and I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? So, and I am hard to one but I've learned in my old age that sometimes it's good to ask for directions. But GPS is pretty damn good these days. Cause I remember growing up, man, all those days driving, you'd leave Fort Benning, and you have to drive home, and that's 6-7 hour drive, 8 hour drive, whatever you coming from. And you knew one thing you would do. You stop and get a roll of quarters, okay? And you make sure you got your food and your water, and you have a roll of quarters, because you know you always have to stop because you had your pager. Somebody paged you, you had to stop at the payphone. And now, back in the day, it was the rest stops used to have food, and you know how it was back in the day at rest stops, and tons of payphones.
Yep.
Payphones everywhere.
Yeah.
And you pull over, put the quarters on top, put them in, you're talking, dial and collect. That's what it was. So that's the life it was. And then all of a sudden now we're sitting here, we're doing Instagram, and I'm on
and now you're on a podcast
talking about
Instagram
Airsoft.
video call. Like what?
if I'd say, if you told me when I was in Kandahar or wherever I was, any of those times, hey man, you're going to end up being on a podcast one day, and you're going to be on Instagram, and you're going to do social media, and you're going to be, I would be like, I would look at him and go, and that'd be it. Because I knew it, I would never in a million years thought I'd be doing this, let alone playing Airsoft. And I love it.
And that's a good point, though. That this is the best way to get your story out, and not just your story, but to help other people. Like you helped that 12-year-old that you just had the recent post on your Instagram for.
That's the one thing I noticed in this community. I want to say something real quick. The one thing I noticed in the community that I'm involved in, okay, these guys are amazing. They give a lot. And about relationships, if you don't understand, guys out there, one thing you need to learn about friendship, and one thing you need to learn about relationships, is there's two kind of people you have in your life. You have your 5 p.m. and you have your 3 a.m. Okay. So how many of you guys out there have your friends on your hands, and you can call it 5 p.m. and they'll answer the phone and they'll be there for you? We have probably about this many. Now, how many people you call at 3 a.m. and no matter what the circumstance, okay, they're going to answer the phone and they're going to be there for you? It's going to be on this hand, or it's going to be on this thumb, or is it going to be just, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the kind of friends, to me, that I put in my life. And those guys, I've not met any of them, not yet, have met one. And I have entrusted a few thousands of dollars in one person. And not one time have I ever had the inclination that he might do something to scam me or do me wrong. And I've only met this guy over the phone, like you and I. Yep. You see what I'm saying? But to know that community is out there, is that strong. I just wish it was that way, better in just everything, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like you look out at it, and it was like I noticed, like Sunday when I was playing, I got to sit back, and again, years of being on a battlefield, and you walk off and you're actually having fun and talking afterwards is not something you're used to. And it was awesome for me to sit back and come off, and some guy come up to you and be like, "Oh man, I saw you around the corner and you got me, and and you killed me, and then I got you on the second try and we battled out, And it was, I just sat back and I kind of looked at everybody, and it kind of everything at the end, after all the patches are done and having say goodbyes. And I met a guy there named Red. Shout out to Red here in Myrtle Beach. He's actually taking, we're going to Florence Saturday to they have an indoor Florence. They have an indoor, Florence, South Carolina just opened up. I'm not sure the name of it.
It's,
you might know.
Yeah. It's Airsoft, South Carolina.
Okay. Yep. Is that the name of it? Airsoft, South Carolina? Uh-huh. Okay. I didn't know if it was like Airsoft Florence or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So Airsoft, shout out to them. We'll be there Saturday. They have a new indoor. Now I'll tell you, if anybody's going to go, and if you do show up right now and you are watching, they're not HPA set up yet to actually supply you air, okay, for your tanks. So you need to bring your own, if you have extra. So like we're going this weekend, I have 3 tanks, 368s that I'm going to fill up, and I have 3 smaller 800s that I'm going to fill up. And then we got a bunch of other guys got extra tanks that we're going to take. So we won't have a problem with air, but it's going to be a blast. It's going to be my first time indoor CQB. So it's going to be fun with a BB gun. It's going to be awesome. So, I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Like I said, I'm walking out there for the first time in my life. I don't have to worry about getting shot or getting killed, I get to have fun. Right. Because you got to understand, when you went in, it was 3 years of having fun and learning how to shoot, blow up things, and going through crazy stuff and going through hell. But you had your brothers there for you. And then all of a sudden 9/11 happened. Boom. And my whole life changed. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then then all of a sudden my purpose was there.
Yeah.
Okay, here I am. Let's go. I knew what I signed up for. Let's go get this. Let's do this. And then, of course, you get hardened. You see the politics in it. I don't want to get into all of that crap, but you see the politics in it.
Right.
And you see the, like it almost comes to the point. It's no different than that iron worker out there or that school teacher or that whoever's working and they don't appreciate you kind of feeling.
Sure.
You're not getting paid enough. And it's not worth going. Yeah, like the school teachers out there. It's not worth going to damn school every day and teaching these kids who don't want to respect you, who don't want to listen to you because their parents let you get away with this shit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So what I've noticed in the airsoft world, when I was out there, there was fathers, there were 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, there was 13-year-olds, mothers playing. There were parties going on. They had paintball one side, airsoft on the other side. I mean, it was just everywhere. Yeah. But everybody was having fun. And there wasn't a single person out there hating on anybody or trying to do anything. And it was just like, I just kind of, like I said, when it was all over and everybody was kind of dust blue, I sat back and I just looked around and I just noticed everybody just eating pizza. Hey man, you want some pizza? They got pizza over there. Right. Just kids were over here laughing, guys coming up to me, asking me about my patches. And I just sat back and I go, I think I could, I think I'm right in the right place.
Yeah.
And again, now, and here's the thing, going back to, when you and I first talked, I have never had the experience of being on an airsoft field in my life.
No.
So that's why I told you, I was like, man, I really don't know. I want to do one podcast until I actually, for me to get on here and try to talk about and never do airsoft, that's not being respected. I don't know anything about it. And I still don't. But I tell you one thing, I know about what it's like to be in a battle in an airfield, and it was fun.
Yeah.
We played different. I got to learn the different types of games that play and the different styles and the bomb defusing and then to take the flag and all this other stuff and take the heel. And we had a blast. It was fun. But afterwards and before and in betweens and all that was the best.
Yeah.
Now, when I woke up this morning, what the one thing that wasn't best was my shoulder.
Oh, you're a little sore? What?
Let me tell you. My lower back, just for probably about 15, 20 minutes after I had my coffee, it was fine because I'm in good shape. So, but I took a fall on my shoulder, that I was shot in. I took a fall and I'm glad I got it out of the way because I was coming. It was wet. It rained the day before. Right. It rained all day. Okay. So I was on the backside of a field, like literally walking through the water ankle high. Yeah. And then going up on the rocks, okay? And then trying to walk on the side of my feet so they can't hear me. So I'm still thinking, I'm in my head still thinking tactical, not airsoft. Sure. Where I just need to just take off and run, damn it, run. Yeah. Instead, so here I was, I look around, there's nobody there. There's no one around. I'm like, am I the only one on this field? I thought, what? Next thing you knew, the thing was 5 acres, okay? And I was all the way around the other side. I had ended up on the back side where I was supposed to be, okay, and walked up behind the guys. And I said, and literally shot both of them. And they were like, where did you come from? And they looked down at my feet and they go, he actually did it. They were like, we didn't think anybody would go through that mud, man. And I was like, really? I was like, why? He goes, they're not going to come out here and play airsoft and get their boots and everything, all that muddy.
Because I had mud up. Airsoft players and military guys. Yeah.
So it was kind of funny, because they were laughing. They weren't laughing. They were like, damn, okay. But the thing is now, I learned one thing. This is the only thing I learned off YouTube about airsoft. You know how you go like books for dummies that got all that stuff, like all that,
dummies, yeah,
airsoft for dummies. So I went to YouTube, okay, and I was like, what? I thought in my head, like, okay, I've asked Houdini a million questions. I've asked Mike, Big Bear, a million questions. I've asked Airsoft Dad, a million questions. So I'm prepared. And then, I'm standing out there and I'm walking out there and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And the last thing I remember, the first thing I do is I realize that I didn't bring my mask. I left my mask in the car. Okay. So I'm sitting there getting ready to go out to play and we're walking, they call me in. Okay. He writes it on my wrist.
You got
I go back. No, I have a full, I have a new HK.
Okay.
So it's, this is mine.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's usually, Yeah. So
Shout out HK
basically,
Army. I
yeah,
love their videos.
HK Army,
Yeah.
unbelievable. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
here, I'll tell you one thing. I ran around the entire time. I'm talking from sprinting to standing, sitting, doing
Yep.
whatever I was doing. Not one time did I had to adjust, or pull
Or
or
and
lift
it didn't
up.
fog up.
No defogging. Didn't
No.
one time have to lift up other than spitting.
Right.
Okay. Um, which is perfect. You can actually, and I know that's maybe one of the features they made, but honestly, is when you lift this up, you're not actually coming up. It actually has a nice side release where you're getting some play.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep.
So you don't lose. So you're not losing that protection,
No.
but you're also getting that. You're
Be
able to
able to
take that
spit.
breath.
Yeah.
That you're able to take. Instead of being that Darth Vader all the time, you get to be able
Yeah.
to take that. You get to take that breath.
Right.
And it's nice to know that you have that play. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's a nice setup. I mean, they did a really good job in the design. And again, that's the only mask I know. So there's probably a million out there that are better. And there's probably people saying, oh, you need to go to goggles and da da
Nah.
da. Well, guess
No,
what?
that's a
I
good
wore
one.
goggles. But here's the thing. That's for me, that's new. I get to wear an awesome looking mask
It
and
looks
be
awesome.
cool as hell.
Yeah.
Where I'm not wearing comms. I'm not wearing,
Exactly.
I'm wearing something that looks cool as shit. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? And I get to do it. So that's why I bought it, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, and again, they're like, why'd you buy that one? I was like, and I didn't know anything about airsoft. All I did is I went on, they said, make sure you pick a good mask, one that makes you good cover, blah, 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 this and
Right.
that, whatever.
Right.
And so I went on and made sure, and I literally went on internet and looked on like the
Sure.
best mask, blah, 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 talked to Houdini, saw Airsoft Dad,
Yep.
watching his live show, and he showed his one, the one he had. And I said, wow, that's nice.
Yep.
And I looked on HK, shout out to them, and it was awesome.
Well,
I even got
you got full face protection, which is great.
yes,
I don't
yep.
understand people that don't use full. Why somebody wouldn't use
Well,
that.
I noticed that this weekend. I saw guys with your just
They only have the
goggles.
safety glasses on, and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay. I mean, you don't want to be tough. That's fine. Go ahead. Get shot in the
yeah.
face, bro.
Well,
Get shot in your fucking
well,
ear. Okay.
well.
And see what happens.
Warwolves. I don't know if you were paying. I don't know if you followed for a while. If you saw where probably last week or weekend before last, Warwolves. Okay, on Instagram. If you look him up, it's war.wolves. He shot a guy and had to stop playing because daggum kid didn't have it. He shot his tooth out.
Yeah.
Literally shot his tooth out.
This happens
And I
all
was
the
like,
time, bro.
and I'm like, what are you doing?
This happens
I want,
all the
hey, I
freaking
had a
time,
mouthpiece. I had a mouthpiece in my mouth.
bro.
I have a fitted mouthpiece. Okay. You see what I'm saying? I have a fitted mouthpiece. And I was like, I mean, it was made for my mouth to wear. And
But
it
I'm
was getting,
saying, why not wear like the mask you showed? Okay.
absolutely.
Wear
I would
that.
not be
Wear something like
I would
that.
not be I will never be a goggles guy. I'm sorry. I mean, if that's your choice and you like all
Yeah,
that,
that's fine.
no, don't get me wrong.
By the
Don't get me
way,
wrong.
just so you know, these guys that get their teeth shot out. They're the same guys that get, BB stuck in their skin.
Uh-huh.
Okay, in their cheek, by their cheekbone.
Uh-huh.
They gotta push them out.
I'll tell you what was
I get it. If you've never been in the military, if you've never been in a fight in your life, you want to prove yourself how tough you are, like physically. I can handle physical pain. I get it. You want to go through that, so I'm going to wear goggles instead of a full face cover. Okay, fine. Go. Just how about this? When you first start airsoft, just go out in your backyard, have your buddy shoot you with a full auto, mag dump you in the face at like 30 feet so you can handle all the pain and say, yeah, I'm fucking tough. Okay.
Right.
I don't know. Like, bro,
right.
But you're going to get your teeth shot out on the field.
Yeah. He did it last week. I made a comment on his
face protection.
I made a comment on his Instagram that he ended up liking back. And I said, Wolves made that kid be able to spit corn with his mouth closed.
Exactly. Oh,
yeah, right there. Imagine closing.
Dude, for real.
Right on the camera.
Man. You got great looking teeth, by the way. Yeah. So take care of your teeth, take care of your face. Okay, wear face
Yes,
protection.
yes,
All right,
absolutely, guys.
you don't have to
No,
prove how tough you are on the
no,
field by taking a
no,
BB in the mouth, chipping
no.
your tooth, or getting one stuck in your cheek. It's fine. Okay,
Yeah,
we all
I
understand you're probably tough already. It's okay. All
right.
right. If you want to show how
I
tough you
saw.
are, do some fucking knuckle push-ups on concrete, in
It's.
90-degree weather. Okay,
I tell you what.
I'm
The
just
one
saying.
kid came up. The one there was one guy. There was one kid there that I met when I first saw him. He had a small chest plate, really small. He's a speed player.
Yeah.
Shorts on. Okay, and I'm talking shorts, like like thigh high shorts,
Uh huh.
cleats, cleats. Okay, and the half mask, like a scarf
Yeah.
up to his nose, goggles, and that was it.
Okay.
I had on backwards. So they took the bunker hill, and I thought to myself, okay, why would I wear shorts and want to get shot in the legs? Because that's where everybody's going to want to shoot you. You see what I'm saying? I mean, literally, that's where everybody's going to want to shoot you.
Sure.
Because that's where I shot him. That's where I shot him.
Yeah.
Now he got me back because he was running around like a fucking freaking fool, and that's awesome because he's good at it.
Well,
But I
that's
sat
what
and
he's doing.
waited, and finally I said, you know what? I told my guy, I said, look, I'm going to take one for the team, okay? But I'm going to get rid of him because he was taking out guys, right?
Yeah.
So I had my two guys sat down and give me cover, and I said, as soon as you see me raise my hand, he's going out. So all of a sudden, they gave me cover on the other two guys, and I ran straight towards him. Came around the corner, and I was firing, tat, 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 tat. And I hit him in the chest. He hit me right here, right? And then he went off the way, and I went, pow! One time when I walked away, he hit him right in the leg.
Yeah, but that honestly, that doesn't hurt as bad as the
No,
face, bro.
he just turned around. He just turned around and looked. He just turned around and looked at me. And then that's the same guy that shot me in the back of the neck.
Oh shit.
So we were even.
Oh,
No, he
yeah.
got me back.
Yeah,
And I told him when he hit, I raised my hand because I knew who he was when we were bunkered down.
Sure.
I knew who he was, and he got me right in the back of the neck. And I told him, I said, okay, we're even now.
Nice.
We're even now. Because that hurts worse than the neck. Hey, right here,
Oh,
that
yeah.
hurts. I'm not gonna lie. That lets me know you're there. Down my legs, not so much. You know what I mean? But
Nah.
that right there, right there. Whew.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had a blast, and I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed the. I'm alive again. I have.
Well, I feel like, honestly, as a military vet, from one vet to another, going in the military, so you grow up, right? You're growing up.
Yeah.
Your parents teach you, life teaches you, whatever, to grow from a boy to a man. Military definitely teaches you that. And then you get out, airsoft, I feel like is in the airsoft community, airsoft kind of brings the boy back, right? Because you're allowed to have fun again. You're allowed to laugh. You're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to be, hey, this is cool, man. This is fun. This is exciting. And you don't have to be all, hey, I'm tough guy. I'm Mr. Serious, strong, serious type, whatever. All the time. It's, hey, we can have fun, and actually, I can teach the younger generation some cool shit along the way.
I agree. And the thing is, it's like I realized that when I was there yesterday, and now I literally, like I told you before, have sat down and marked out every weekend that I'm going to go play.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, it's my purpose. And again, you guys out there, I know you have jobs and whatever, you work all the time, you do it. And hey, I respect it. You get to play every once in a while. Like, Big Bear, he plays maybe two, three times a year because of the weather and where he's at and all that. Yep. But he loves it, and he gets to take it. So he doesn't take it for granted. So he gets to enjoy, like, if Big Bear lived in the States, he'd be building for me also. Yeah. He just lives in Canada where everything's just so expensive and customs, like parts wise. We were on talking. I was looking on blowback. He was looking on there, and it's about a $12 to $15 difference on every part.
That's insane.
Yeah, on every part, there's about a $12 to $13, $15 range somewhere in there. And I'm like, ugh. And then you got customs and all that other stuff. It's just crazy, so, but again, him and Houdini together have sat down and been able to work some of their troubles with my guns that they're working with. teching on and have been able to come up and make things that they didn't think could possibly happen. So that's been fun. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning, and it's been great to know and actually have someone that knows what they're doing and good at it. I'm blessed. I'm lucky. I fell into a very lucky. But again, I go back to saying that God puts you where you should be. Right. So he put me in that chat room, and I met Houdini, and I met those guys, and I'm in Airsoft, and I found a purpose, and I'm happy. And can I live without Airsoft? Absolutely. But guess what? It makes life better. Absolutely. And I always tell somebody, if you're doing something for yourself and you're not hurting anyone else and it's good for you, then do it. You know what I'm saying? If it's not hurting you and it's not hurting someone else, go for it. Have fun. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're shooting them in the back of the neck. But
well, let me ask you this, man, before we close out. You got the hat you have on has a symbol on it.
That's Action Sledge.
I love your sweatshirt. It says "Don't be a
pussy."
You
like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know if you noticed it. I didn't know if you noticed that the whole time.
Just a little.
I was waiting to see. I didn't know if you were going to tell me. I didn't know if you were going to tell me to tape it out, or you're going to blur it out, or
no. I don't do that. Everyone that's followed this channel for any length of time knows I say it just about on every podcast. Well, we don't self-censor. We don't follow that bullshit rule. Okay.
Well, let me tell you a little bit.
Freely.
So
what is? What is that about?
I'll tell you. If you guys go to and look up Seth Verosi, Action Sledge, right here. Okay. So much I have it on my hand. Okay. Action Sledge. And we also have the company is called All American Roughneck. He has. Okay. It literally tells you guys, if you watch it, it's about community. It's about family. It's about being a man. It's about being, when I say a man, it's called about providing, provide, and protect. You see what I'm saying? That's the three things that we should learn as a man. We got to provide, preside, and we got to protect. Okay. And that's one of the things I live my motto by. That's one of the things that Seth lives his motto by. He's a family man. He's an ex-bodybuilder, but he still bodybuilds. Okay. So he has a huge following. You guys follow him, go to, like I said, you can go to his Instagram. You go to allamericanroughneck.com. If you go to Action Sledge, you can use my demo code, and it's KG 10. Okay. You put that in, you'll get 10% off. And basically our message is, like I said, surround yourself with good people. Good things happen. Get rid of all the negativity in your life. And unfortunately, if it's a good friend, if it's a family member, don't ever blow them off, and don't ever not whatever. But there's times in your life when you need to say no to some people, because if they interfere in how you, like you said, you had 5 children, you raised 5 kids, and you did it great. You did a good job at it. I'm sure you failed a few times. I'm sure you felt like you let them down, whatever. And I'm sure you had your moments and all that whirlwind and all that. But now you came out of it, and that's just basically the way I felt. Everything's come full circle, so if you got battles, that's what our stuff is about. And again, the thing back behind us, that's All American Roughneck. You see born and bred. Okay. And basically I love it. And again, I don't want to sit here and say I'm American and I don't care who you are, no, Akimbo, he's out there, he's not from America, and he's one of my best friends, and I haven't even met him yet. That's right. And he could play. He finished 3rd in Nashville this week, or in Indiana this weekend. Finished 3rd. Did awesome. Houdini did great. I watched it live off the cast, and it was great. Yeah. Again, I wish it was better, filming. Again, they can only do so much. Sure. But it looked fun. Those guys had a great time. I was jealous, but it was nice. Actually, I couldn't believe I found myself in my man cave on my phone watching live Airsoft.
Bro, listen. When you're in the military, all right, and you're in the shit, and somebody says to you, "Hey, you want to play Airsoft?" You're like, "What the fuck?" And now you're into it, okay?
But here's the thing. I go see it. Here's the thing. Like I was telling him, like he's got 4 of my guns now, and I'm making they're all rough and tough guns. Right. They're not your little. And don't get me wrong, there's some guns out there that I would love to have and
Sure.
play with, but I wouldn't want to put the time and money in them because I don't really want that. That's not my
Right.
style.
Right.
But I like them. They're like, like the Joker bills and all those kinds. I think they're great.
Sure.
It's great. It shows off
Yeah, but
it shows
Houdini,
off your,
I tell you what Houdini does is he's got a
he's,
good balance of aesthetics,
yes,
but more
yes.
on
Performance,
functionality. And see, I'm more
performance is
about
the number
function.
one.
Okay.
Yes. When we
Mhm.
first talked, that's the first thing I'm glad you brought that up because I want to give him that shout out. When we talked, I told him I said, listen, I'm not into this glitz and glamour. I don't care if you put a Beretta in my hand, which I don't want anyway, but if it can perform inside internally, okay, better than, or equally to what's out on that battlefield I'm going to be facing, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? So as far as it's now, I'm not going to lie, when he started telling me and showing me all these pictures of, oh, hey man, you need to go to Blowback. Shout out to Blowback. Shout out to Evike or Evik, wherever you're from. Shout out to them. Shout out to, there's a bunch of people, Take One was one. There's a bunch of play guys. JJ Moore, shout out to him. He's great over at Lance Tactical. He's been awesome for me. A lot of just basic, not about weapons, not about just about airsoft and how to play and what to do and strategy and we talk it over, that kind of stuff. It's just been great, man. It's been great. I just want to tell, like with Houdini, as far as like again the builds, all my builds are going now have been more or less. I'll tell you, they're basic tactical builds. I'm done with I got my workhorse. I got my 2 workhorses back here,
Yeah.
and now all my other guns are going to be ones that I'm going to have sitting on.
They're pretty.
I've got 9 extra.
Cool to look at.
I've got actually now Houdini. You can go to his page. His friend in Indiana, when he was at tournament this weekend, actually made me print it out. Shot
print.
Zone.
Yeah.
I got 3D printed Shot Zone, the logos. Now these are not the logos. I got these off another place. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But he actually made me 5 of these for the guns he's making for me, in all black, with the Shot Zone logo in it. Yeah, so I could have it. And they're just all black. I'm a plain and simple kind of guy. I don't need. I wanted a clear one, but it doesn't 3D on so I'm good. But again, they were given to me, so I can't. I'm not going to argue, right?
No, dude, they're great.
Oh, and they're amazing. They're amazing. They stay in well. They got durability to them. They look. Yes, they got very good deal, and the cuts in them are they're not cheap. You know what I'm saying? He did good well in the detail. So again, like I said, I got to tell you guys, man, join that, wherever you're at, whatever your community's at, if there's an airsoft place near you, I tell you the one thing you do first, do your research. Don't just jump into what your friends are doing or whatever, what he's carrying or whatever. Go get a rental. I didn't get a rental. Now I'll tell you why I didn't get a rental. I told you that. I've carried around some.
Well,
I've shot about. I have fired about everything you could possibly fire, unless other than
experience. Yep.
Other than being in the air from anything off the ground.
Yeah.
No, never. But on the ground, yes. Anything that they've been made to, whatever. But I tell you what, I've never had so much more fun with an airsoft pistol in my hand. I never ever thought that I would take that when I first held that first gun that I bought and opened that box. Yeah. And I saved it. The high cap, I saved it. I didn't want to throw it away. I didn't want to get it messed up because that's my first one, because I knew there was going to be many to become. I've been in this game for 4 months and I have 7 guns, okay, that have been built from the ground up. So we got, we got a mess going on here.
I'm glad you said the first one, because I ask a lot of people when I talk with them. There's a lot of people I have on here that are, I've been playing for 12, 15, 20 years.
Oh, like, no.
Do you have your first airsoft gun? And they're like,
oh, yeah.
Some of them are like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, holy shit, let me see it, So it's cool.
I don't even know. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I have the original. I don't even know if I have them. But I remember when I went to the store, real quick, I want to give a shout out to the guys at Black Ops.
Yeah.
So I went there one day just to watch, just to see what was going on. Okay. Didn't know anything about it. I want to see what they're doing. So I walked in the door and so he literally I was like, okay, what do you want? What should I get? What should I get? Now, you ever heard of this is something I'm going to give away, okay, to somebody, some kid, because because you ever heard of like jumping into something or buyer's remorse? You know, I'm talking
Oh,
about like, all you guys out there
buyer's
know
remorse.
buyer's
Yes.
remorse.
Yeah.
It's all that gear, all
Most
that
people in
rig, or all
airsoft
those
know
guns,
what buyer's
all
remorse
those,
is.
yes, all those parts, all those guns, all those
Yeah.
gear, all those
Yeah.
shirts, all those, yes, all those shoes, all those pipes and lines and blah, blah, blah. Well, I bought this, okay, an
Okay.
H&K,
Yep.
right? Now, you know, I got it. It's my little, this is my first little ever little,
Okay.
you know, yeah, you drop it out, you know, little air mag, you know, I thought I was the shit, you know, I was like, okay. And then I walked out, you come with your little mag, you know, you're
Okay.
there,
So it's
slide it
green
in,
gas. Uh-huh.
you're ready to go.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I thought I was the man. No, not so much. So I got tired of that, and I called, you know, and then that's when I dropped in and met Houdini.
Well,
Okay.
did it shoot good?
And yeah, it shot great.
Oh.
It shot, I mean, as far as, I mean, for what it does, you know, and what it can do. I mean, like, as far as, like, I didn't know anything about short stroking. I didn't know anything about any of that kind of stuff. You can't short stroke.
Was that
you
the
know,
first one you used?
Yeah, it's the first thing I ever did. I pulled out, went out and started, and I was like,
And did it?
I did good.
Yeah.
And I was good. And I thought, okay, but I thought, okay, this is not going to work. You know, this is not. I mean, you got to understand. You know what I'm talking about. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
even today, I put a real gun in your hand. I don't care if I put a 38 in your hand and you fire it, and it's not going to be the same as a 22 has more kick than a airsoft gun.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, this thing here that I'll be honest with you, it does have a lot of recoil. It does shoot pretty.
It does.
It's heavy.
We've had a few of those.
It's heavy. Yeah, it's heavy, but some kid's going to enjoy it. I'm going to give it to them just like it is. Can't guarantee him anything. It still works. It still runs. It's still good. I think, you know, but I'm going to give him that one. But now here's my worst remorse. Okay. I got to the field on a Sunday. Yeah. This kid shows up. He's 17 years old, and he's the only other one in black. He comes up to me. He goes, "How you doing, sir?" And I said, "Don't call me sir. Call me Kevin." He goes, "Okay." So he goes, "Okay, sir." Anyway, he was getting ready to get shipped off. He was 18 years old, just signed up to be a Marines. So he was getting ready to get shipped off. Oh, shit. So because I asked him, so he came up to me because he saw my retired patch on my car, and he asked me. He said, you know, blah blah blah. We just started talking small talk, and then so we left, and I didn't see him anymore. So the first game starts. They pick teams. I'm not even paying attention to this guy. He goes off of his team. I'm on the other team. Well, I see up front. There's a little fort, and I see the guy moving up in there, and I'm like, all right. So I go off and I look at my guys and I tell them I'm going to take him out. You give me cover, I'm going to take him. I go in there, dude. Let me tell you something. What he's carrying. Okay, this kid's sniping people off. Never got shot. No one could find him. I had no clue where he was at. Didn't know where he was at. Couldn't find him. Went in and got shot over and over and over trying to find this kid. Okay. And this is what he had in his hand. It was my same thing. He had a CO2. Yep. Okay. Uh-huh. Boom. And that's it.
C7.
He would literally.
Is that the C7?
That's it. Just the same. It's the it's that PO9. The CZ.
Yep.
The PO9. Yes. Okay. And that's literally what it is. Drop out, CO2 cartridge, drop it in, tighten it down. You got to have the rent, tighten it up. I mean, that's the worst part in the world. You got to have that, so yeah, it's not fun to have to literally take a cap off, take a,
right.
And then top it in.
Reload it. Yep.
And you got to reload it. And he was out there doing that.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. He was killing it. He went through one mag, at least the whole time. Like, I mean, like when I say one mag, like for each time, not even a mag through the whole time. It was crazy. And he was unbelievable with that one little thing. So it made me realize again, and everybody knows it's not the weapon you have in your hand. It's the person who's playing the game, Absolutely. So, and it does help to have, no, don't get me wrong. It does help because this is going to go to some kid, in Indiana. When I go to Indiana, I'm going to Florence tomorrow, this weekend. I'm going to give some kid that one. Yep. And then I'm going to give some kid this one because I'm going to find a kid who has he's there with his dad. So his dad can show him how to use the CO2, use the CO2. It's easy to use a mag. You can put some gas in it, blah, blah, blah. But this, I want to teach him. And I've got a lot of CO2 cartridges also, probably about 100 that I'm going to take with me and give them to him. Because, I mean, I'm not going to use them. but what I want to say is, the reason the one thing I've noticed, I mean, the guys out there, I challenge all you guys all the way up to the top. I'm not going to name your names. All the guys who run this sport, who keep this thing going, um, who are in the merchandise size part of it.
Sure.
Got all those guys. I'm calling you guys out, too, to step up and, I mean, again, I give you all props. You guys are doing really well. You're doing good, but remember the community, and a lot of them are. I'm not calling out people saying they're not. There's a lot of people out there, but they're doing great things. But just remember, it's all about fun, and it's all about just having an outlet. And again, these kids are playing because they have an outlet, because they're doing something. They're not running around. They're not in the house playing video games. They're not doing drugs. They're not chasing girls. Yep. They're not doing whatever it may be these days, that what kids do. I'm 52. I don't know what a 10, 12-year-old kid does. Well, I can imagine playing video games is what I know. Yeah. I don't see them playing out in the yard, throwing the football or playing baseball or, tackle or doing any hunting. Yeah. So basically, keep the community. And I challenge you guys, listen, I'm out there. I'm going to be traveling a lot. And if you guys out there want me to support you, I don't mind it. Hit me up. I will pay for things, and I will give them away. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. Hit me up at my Instagram at OGKG715. This whole country, like, again, Houdini's in Nashville. There's a kid, 12-year-old, sitting in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina right now in his room with a patch from Houdini, from a guy in Nashville he doesn't even know, and he's happy as hell.
And
it made his day.
Right.
What's that?
You were the connection. Yeah.
Right. And again, that was, and if me being that little bit apart to make him, that's enough. I'm good. That validated it that day for me. You see what I'm saying?
You're perfect for this podcast, because that's exactly what I'm doing, is connecting with.
Well, what I want to say real quick is these patches that I don't have many. Okay, guys, you see that? I don't have a lot. Okay, I do have some. I do have actually some, but they're all going to be gone, because every show I go to, I don't care how much I paid for your patch. Eventually, that wall is going to be filled up with either something different, or it's going to be empty eventually, because I'm going to keep giving patches away. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that the feeling of what that one kid had, if I give that every time, I'm good, bro. I'll be good every time I travel, wherever I go. But it'll be the right kid. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to make his day. Let's be happy. Let's have fun. That's what Airsoft, I've learned. One thing about it, that's what it's about. It's not about being serious and tactical and wanting to kill everybody and da-da-da-da. It's fun while you're doing it. But when you get off that field, it is who you are. So I've enjoyed it. You guys are great. And I give everybody that's helped me, and it will help me in the future. If anybody needs anything, if you guys, one thing you remember, if you're out there and you feel lonely and you feel like it's, nobody cares, nobody gives a crap about you, you're probably right. You know what? That's what you think in your head. You're probably right. Yep. But let me tell you something. One thing I'm going to tell you guys, and then I know this is a serious part. We'll get off on that other thing. But this is something that really means to me. And this is one of the messages I want to get out to people, and why I'm playing Airsoft when I travel. And I'm going to give out, like I said, I've got stuff from the Valhalla wristbands. I've sent a bunch of guys the Line 22. I sponsored them. I bought probably 13 of those things. They're not cheap, and I give them out. I sent Houdini one. I sent people one. I want people to know what's going on. If you don't know what Line 22 is, look it up. I'm not going to go into detail. Look it up. It's easy to find, and it's easy to figure out what the 22 means. I'm a big supporter of that. So my biggest thing is, basically, if anybody out there, let me tell you something. If you're thinking about in not being here tomorrow, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you one thing. You are going to hurt every single person that loves you. Your mom, your dad, your grandmother, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your best friend, your uncle, the person that reads it in your newspaper, the guy who your neighbor is that you never talked to, are all going to fucking suffer because you did a selfish thing. Okay? Because you can live through it. I promise you. Tomorrow's going to be a better day, and tomorrow wants to meet you. Okay? So remember that.
Absolutely.
All right? So wait. That's it.
You have... Most people don't realize they have a purpose here. So
absolutely.
Don't pull that trigger. Don't do whatever you
mental health is everything.
Okay.
Mental health is everything. I'm going to tell you now, mental health.
Somebody, that's only because you're wallowing in your sorrow.
That's right.
When the self-pity, that's a trick. Yep. That's a ploy by the enemy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. That's not what you're meant for. All right. You're not meant to end on that note. You are meant to go out and help somebody else that you don't even know. that you're supposed to help, and they don't know that you're supposed to help them. It's farther down the road, and
let me tell you
you
something,
keep
guys.
going. You're going to affect that person, and that story is going to come out someday and go, oh, I heard this guy talking on whatever. It doesn't have to be this podcast, somewhere out there. And you know what? It was a crucial point in my life, and his story changed me to where I didn't pull that trigger, or I didn't drive off the road.
Let me tell you, guys.
You know what I'm saying?
I have been in that rabbit hole and down that dark hole. I've sat in a room with a loaded, and I've thought about it, my life, and I've been there. I think about it even to this day. It comes across my mind every once in a while. But is it something I would do? Not at all. Do I sometimes think I wish I was dead because I don't want to relive all this crap that goes through my head? Yeah. I'm never going to be perfect. Airsoft's not going to change my life and make me wonder at every rainbows and butterflies, but it has taken me away for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, or 3 hours on the phone with you or one of my friends who I've not even met. If it takes it away for that long, man, give it to me all time, all day. Yeah. Okay. Just like you said, when we're into something, we go full bore. And like the Rangers say, we lead the way. So get the fuck out my way because I'm coming to you. Okay? That's what I got to tell you.
That's a great way to end.
If I can't beat you on the airsoft field, I'll beat you in any other sport, any other thing. Okay? And you have 12-year-olds out there that kick my butt in airsoft, I'll kick your butt on the outside of it. I promise you. We'll arm wrestle. Bam.
There you go.
Yeah. I see
Push-up contest.
So anyway,
okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this is my first time. Thank you for popping my cherry. Yeah, it's my first time I've ever been on a somewhat podcast and us talking, you know, and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry for all the, you probably could edit this down to about,
you're great.
You'll probably edit this down to about 5 minutes.
No, I don't edit these.
It's going to be, what?
No, I don't edit these, bro.
You don't edit anything? So I can say anything and don't know.
No, I really don't. Yeah, I don't edit shit. This is the raw conversation between me and you from start to finish.
Oh, wow. Shit. Okay. So here's something I want.
So in the beginning, so when I say welcome and we start, that's when the cutoff is. And so there's an introduction, and then the ending is right here where I say, hey, it's great to have you on. Thank you so much. And shout out your Instagram. Everybody go. In fact, we're gonna end right now.
We're doing now. Everybody go to OGKG 715. Okay. Big shout outs to the community of Houdini. Go to Houdini that's 2 eyes on social media. Go to Big Bear, Airsoft Dad, all that community. Find Maddie, find Amp, find all those guys. Find Kimbo, everybody. Yeah. And so, I mean, all the guys, just reach out to somebody. If you can't find those guys, reach out, find your local airsoft, have some fun, man. Go get some fun and have it and love life and make people happy. All right. So take care and God bless, I guess.
No, you're good, brother. Hey, it's great. It's great talking to you. I can't wait to meet you in person one day.
Well,
it'll
absolutely.
It'll be very soon.
We're very close.
We're only like
you
3
said
hours
you were
away
going
from each other.
Well, I know, but where did you say there was something you said that was coming up?
Oh, in Barnwell, South Carolina. Yeah. That's in September. Yeah, the middle of September is.
Send me that time or dates or whatever, so I can put those in my calendar.
Description. It's
that's not far at all.
After we're done, go to Otherworld Milsim.
Yeah.
Or jacktack.com. Yeah.
Okay.
Either one of those.
Okay, good. I know those. Okay. Yep. I'll go on there and I'll check that out. We'll meet there.
I'm going there.
We will be there.
Yeah.
I will be there.
All right. Awesome.
I promise you. My word.
If I'm
alive, I will be there. What's that?
We will definitely, you and me will definitely talk before then, because we've been
messaging
each other and jumping on the live streams and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
In the last 2 weeks. So.
Oh yeah. So I'll see you, and then see you, and definitely getting to meet you. So
absolutely,
I mean, it's just like again, I get to meet Airsoft Dad in May when up in Indiana. So I won't. I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him every other day, but I won't get to meet him until May. So
exactly.
Well, it was good meeting you. It was great talking.
All right,
that's it. That's all I gotta say.